Let's go!
Hearing that blast and just got me even more hyped about this win.
Hey!
Let's go, bro.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to our post-game reactions. Did it again, 38-7. The last did it twice. If you think about it.
Imagine this. Beating this team 3 times.
If people say, oh, it's hard to beat the team 3 times. Well, if you looked at it.
God. Dude. Oh my God. Heck yeah, Nick Sirianni, you coached a good game there, bud.
Yeah, sir. So if you think of this too, like Hurts actually looked pretty solid if you really think about it. 16 for 24 on 154 yards.
Hurts looks like himself now. Honestly, you know what I said after he started running all over the place? I'm like, what children do?
What's good, Arku? Shit. But
don't do this again. We're doing this again until we win the Super Bowl. You can't beat a team 3 times, they say. Eagles are limping, and they say no.
Nah, we're just a fully healthy squad.
No. Giants are on a roll, they say. They played one good playoff game.
Yeah, and against a mediocre, or I would say fraudulent Vikings
team, literally against a team with no defense.
But I will give the Giants a lot of credit, though. I'll give them where credit is due. The fact that they even won a playoff game the first time in 11 years. So I'll give them that.
I'll give them that, but the problem is that playoff game was against a team that had no defense.
That is true. That is true. But going on the forward, like out of the running game, Kenneth Gainwell, look, I know you don't want to really kind of burn out Miles Sanders, which I do understand that. I mean, you don't want to really burn out your best guy. Kenny Gainwell, have a fucking day, man.
Dude, he had that late touchdown that ended the game. And that's exactly right, Anton. It's the fact that no one watches the Eagles games and they put on like these blinders and they hate just because they're from Philly.
Yeah, I agree. I can't agree more. So Kenny Gainwell has 12 carries for 112 yards on a touchdown, averaging 9.3 yards per carry.
And the touchdown came when it didn't matter.
But then you had Miles Sanders. Actually had a pretty good night for himself. I mean, I'll give him that 17 carries for 90 yards, 5.3 yards per carry.
Here's the thing, RQ. Cowboys ain't winning more. They ain't winning more. Against that Niners team, they're not winning.
But I will say this too about the Niners. The only way you can expose them is in their secondary. The secondary is a bit of a weak spot for them. Outside, because especially to the left, the left corner spot is where you can.
Yeah, that left corner. Yeah, you can exploit that left corner spot, but like
outside of that,
the defensive line, the linebackers, and the other cornerback is pretty good. That's the thing. It really
is.
They don't have many holes, and it's going to be tough.
And we agree with that. So think of this too. Tyler, okay, so Tyler, you want to know what the time of possession is compared from tonight between these two teams? Eagles had a 35 minutes, 43 seconds. Giants, 24 minutes, 17 seconds.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Even though, yes, we did get penalized a little bit, but that really didn't hurt us as much. So,
I mean, we were confident only because of talent. No, this team is a family. You don't come into our house and F with our family. Yeah.
Facts. And the fact that you had a reporter say and yes, I know I'm wearing a Bryce Harper shirt because who better to be the ultimate hype man for Philadelphia sports than Bryce Harper himself?
He was the hype man for that fourth quarter. I'm like, let's go.
I mean, it's just like so far though. I mean, two good games. I will say that much. Just it's just this was kind of I felt this was kind of expected for the Eagles though to kind of just knock around as well.
Yep.
But James Bradbury, I mean, talk about the most ironic things you can do against your former team, and just
First drive he gets a pick. First drive. Wow.
like you don't do that. And
No,
Kelsey,
you
man,
don't.
that's not how you treat people by swatting them out with one arm. And
Yeah.
that's just. And this is the thing too. And knowing that looking at I mean, look, seeing Jack Driscoll hurt kind of sucked, but I thought actually Andre Dillard actually looked pretty good, if I'm going to be completely honest. In a very
I
short
was sitting
sample.
there thinking, there goes that side of the line. Andre Dillard's in the game. We're going to be screwed.
And
No,
he holds it down.
he held it down that second half, and we won the
And here
game.
comes Jack Driscoll comes back, and I mean, this is twice that we have done, and yeah, absolutely, that's good, and that's a positive for both teams.
That's a good plus for both teams. They didn't have any injuries. I think the Eagles did have one injury though.
And I think that was Driscoll, but that was it. Really, they only keep him off like one drive or something like that, or one
That
series.
came out for Giants tried to buy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the fact that, and I will say this too. I think
they tried for one drive,
and that
is it.
It really was, and for me, like I said, the Giants, I can, as much as they have a little bit of holes to fix, I'm gonna give them their flowers a lot of though. Really exceeding expectations. Like
What's up, man? What's up?
What's good, Jeff? And I'm gonna give Brian Dable a lot of credit though. And look, without him, who knows? What Jalen Hurts could have been a whole lot different quarterback if it weren't for Brian Dable at Alabama. And and the fact that seeing the kind of leader that Jalen Hurts is, and the fact that his dad kind of gave him, he learned a lot of the national leadership from his dad. It's they do have a lot of work to do, but you have to give them work.
They have work in that secondary for sure. They have work.
I think Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson's pretty good. I will give him that. Adoree
Jackson and Julian Love as their safety. That's that's going to be a good combo.
There was a few plays that Adoree Jackson got to us behind the line.
Absolutely, and same with Julian Love.
Julian Love too got to us behind the line,
and they got potential to be a potential threat in the NFC for years to come. Like I said, just got to improve that defense a little bit. Definitely get some interior O line help because, well, no, that's besides because we've been there and done that before, and we've been in that same spot. So, I'll give Brian Dable the benefit of the doubt, even though, like we said, they played a team with no defense, but the fact that they came in all back, and they had I think it was like either week 16 or 15 or 16 when they were like super banged up. Like they were kind of on that a little bit of a skid, like people were kind of saying, are they going to really miss the playoffs? And according to Brian Dable said, nope, not on my watch. So I
think there was at one point I think they were like 7-6 at one point, and they were
and then they went and but yeah, it's just if I really had, I mean, like we said, I mean, as Anton says, they tried, but for what?
They tried. What do you mean they tried? They tried for like one drive.
Jose. But then again, I think we always know that every time when the Eagles came around,
I thought it would be closer, but it showed how the Eagles are just locked in. They're very locked in.
And this is the thing too. If you're going to, and I got to give as much as me and Tyler talked about this many times before, how much the entire city vilified against Howie Roseman, but man, does it look bad.
The last 5 years after 2017, we dogged him. Can the Eagles beat 49ers or Dallas? I think we would have a better chance against Dallas than we do the Niners, in my opinion.
Because I mean, look, the Niners, and I will admit this too, they have a better defense than we do. We are top 2 defense for sure, top 3 if you're lucky, when healthy. But no, and I'll say this too, Dallas's defense at times can be inconsistent. I think they actually did noted that the broadcast did noted that the Dallas, not just defensively, but the entire Dallas team is so inconsistent. And it's not coming from us. Like that's just what they showed. And
And, and I bet their fans are going to say, but look at the wild card. You beat an 8-19 with a washed quarterback.
and yeah,
No,
I mean the defense stunk. The offense was absolute trash. Byron Leftwich got fired. I mean, what else can we go on about? And first of all,
exactly.
that that is true. The trade aspect of Howie, Tubble is being a thief. I will say that much because it's funny. Because guys, going back to what I looked at the Saints trade, me and Tyler, we actually overreacted. It's like, what the fuck? But we looked at it and say, oh, okay. So we moved up a spot in the first round. Say, you sneaky bastard. And the fact that and he did it twice to the Saints. We get
Yeah,
their draft picks and Gardner Johnson too, and he's up for a contract extension. Boy,
yeah.
I know those Saints fans are punching themselves, punching the air right now. Like, because I'm thinking this too. Because look at the top. We have a top 10 picks. Like, do we really, really need? I mean, I don't know.
So here's what happened here. We fleeced the Saints twice. We get a high draft pick. We get Gardner Johnson, and we're in the NFC Championship game.
I
Are
mean,
you kidding me?
and I got to give a lot. And if I'm going to have really outstanding player for this season, it's got to be Reed Blankenship. I had to give that
Oh
kid
my
a. I
God,
gotta
that guy
gotta give
is
that
a
kid his
dog.
flowers.
That
As
guy's a
soon
dog.
as if I'm going to be quite honest, I think he. I mean, this kid has shown to step up,
The
especially when
way,
Avante's.
yeah, the way this man flies to the football, though, a
Yeah,
guy could be wide open. He's flying from 10 yards out, and he's getting a pick.
I mean, look, who could say who can pick off Aaron Rodgers as a rookie? Think about that,
Jalen Hurts is a big guy now. Yeah, he is, man. Yeah, he
and not to
is.
mention too.
Imagine if we had Maddox.
Woo,
Here's the thing.
that's
Here's the thing, though. If we had Maddox, the same things you saw Blankenship do, he would have done. So it would have been the
exact.
same. It would
And
have
the
been the
fact that
same.
even with if Blankenship doesn't play, and this is why I think having Gardner Johnson too, because he's also great as a nickel spot too.
Yeah.
People tend to forget he's a very multiple, not as a corner, but when he plays like a nickel safety, and that's in the slot, he could do better than any. He could be as good as people think he can be. And
Yep.
it's funny because now the fact that yeah, he is a train. I mean, the fact that the dude's
Hurts
already up
can
for.
Hurts can run with the football. He can pass with the football. He can do it all, man.
And the fact
And
that
he's got one of the most prettiest passes in the league because he's so accurate with it. He can dot you well from like 10 yards out.
exactly if you blown cover,
And
yeah,
I agree with that. He's never satisfied. I bet you after this game, he's like,
just
that one doesn't mean nothing. That
just
one
think of
doesn't
this
mean
dude. Just
anything.
imagine if he wins the Super Bowl. It's just like this is not good enough. Let's do it. Like he wants to. Like this is the kind of, and this is what they actually noted too. Like he's with that mental toughness he has. It's like I'm thinking to myself. I don't know. I don't know if that's just me or did he always find a way to take a little bit of a shot at Carson Wentz, who's always been a little bit weak minded. That's where my brain was going. Was telling me.
It was basically taking a shot at him, but also not. But here's the thing. Here's the difference between him and Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, okay, we won one Super Bowl, whatever. I can get complacent. I can not care anymore. Jalen Hurts, this man will be like, let's win another one. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
I was like, oh, okay, let me
Do
have
it
a banged
again.
up shoulder. Let's run it back. Like this, and this is why a lot of times, and this is why I say this is going back to what I said about Brian Dable. When Brian Dable was at there, which the fact that I didn't know that Jalen Hurts could have been a whole lot different quarterback than what we saw since he came into this league. And the fact that they pointed out that he learned the hard lessons. Like, yeah, it's like, it wasn't easy for him, like when he transferred from Alabama to Oklahoma. And, the fact that, learned from his dad, and the fact that he was a very young when he did powerlifting. If you have not seen this guy powerlift, you'll be surprised how strong this
The
dude
benched
is.
the guy benched 500 pounds, but not only did he bench the 500 pounds, the bar was bending.
He could squat 600 pounds. People, if you look at his body size, like, oh, he's not going to be strong. You'd be very surprised of how very strong his lower body is, and the fact that he can. It's exactly that's what, and that's what we're saying. Like the fact he has that underdog mentality. Yeah, it's like, oh, yes, I'm a second round pick. Like people never really think much of it, and the fact that if I'm going to be quite honest, I mean, I've been seeing rumors and stuff like he might be like get like a 6 year, $200 million, 200 plus million. And to be quite honest, if I'm going to be quite honest, I think he's worth that. If I'm going to be quite honest,
Here's what hurts is right. This is how much he's been doubted and always been underdog, right? In Alabama,
I think
he gets
he's
benched. He gets benched for Tua Tagovailoa, who doesn't have the same skill set as him. Yes, Tua was a great college quarterback,
but had
but
injury issues.
he had injury issues. He still has injury issues. Hurts got hurt one time in his young career. But and then he gets drafted second round. He plays second fiddle to Carson Wentz. And then
Yeah, and pretty
and then
well, we know.
that went south, and then he became the starter. He had a rough start the first 2 years.
I mean, which is to be expected. I mean, the fact that we,
He was a
and,
rookie. I was a rookie at the time, essentially. But here's he was doubted. He can't throw the football. He can only run with the football. This year, he said, "Okay,
even though
the
he over
man's doing it all
and Ty, we
now."
actually talked about this a couple times last season. Like he did had over 3,000 passing yards. It's like, what are you talking about? Not throwing a football?
But here's the thing: you can see the point though, because look at the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
had
I think,
nothing. He literally did nothing but run.
and it came out like, yeah. I mean, look, I'm going to try to work on my accuracy, and yeah, he got a little bit bigger, but he actually found ways to, get better in ways that has really been helped, especially not to mention too, and you got to give Howie credit, and especially trained for AJ Brown, which has really helped in this dude's development as a quarterback.
Yep.
Think about it. If Howie can find like a gem somewhere, like the later rounds for another wide receiver, I mean, at this point, look at the depth that we have. Like people don't understand like how good of our depth rotations we have. And think about it, we didn't play,
He won at Alabama, got benched, came back the next year, came in and won, went to Oklahoma and won, came back, came to Philly as a backup, came in and won, got us to the
the
playoffs
players
last year,
last.
now this year.
That's two, and
He's a proven winner, and no team had ever cared for him. Alabama, he gets benched even though he was winning.
even though the national
Oklahoma, he went to Oklahoma, had a great season, gets drafted second round as a backup. He wasn't even supposed to start. But
but
Carson Wentz, his BS started. He was
and
forced to start.
yeah, like we said, this is all stems back to how injury prone Carson went. And I actually pointed this out too. The fact when we saw that he put on weight I was like, oh, this is not. At the time, I thought to myself like, that's not a good thing, because knowing that if you get put on more weight, it tends to lead to more injuries, and we saw that with Carson Wentz. The dude has not really been and this also stemmed, prior to that, after he tore and this all started when he tore his ACL in 2017. If he didn't die for that, history could have been a lot different. But
you have to think too, though, Rob. His leg doesn't help. Doesn't
that is true.
His leg isn't his head. His head wasn't in the game after the Super Bowl.
Because yeah, that is true.
And who's to say if he didn't get hurt that season and they still won the Super Bowl and won, that his head wouldn't be in it the next year?
That is true. Then I think of it. And and look, and I think if I'm Howie, I'll try to find give Miles Sanders a reasonable payday, because you don't want to pull what the Dallas Cowboys did. And I'm not taking shots at the Cowboys, but the fact that they even overpaid for a guy like Zeke, who I think he still got something left, but it's not the same running backs he used to be, was kind of a bit of a mistake. We've seen that a lot of times. Which, I mean, look at Todd Gurley, perfect example of a running back got overpaid and just floundered. And, it's just one of those things. It's like that. And that kind of worries me a little bit. Do you really going to overpay for a running back? But I think Howie's going to find a way to make it very team friendly. And honestly, I think Miles should stay. I really do think so. Because I think I've seen people say, let Miles Sanders walk. You got Scott. I mean, look, Scott's okay as a third stringer. But I think I think we have a good running back room if you keep Sanders, you know, and if you keep Scott, I mean, look, Scott, so like I said, it's okay, but it's just like I think you can definitely could rely on Sanders and Kenny Gainwell. And people, you'd be surprised. And the fact that I saw Kenny Gainwell drag two defensive linemen down with them, I'm thinking to myself, man, how embarrassing do you have to? How embarrassing is that to have Kenny bring out a small running back in Kenny Gainwell? And
Yeah,
also,
it's gonna be very hard to keep Miles because he wants a higher pay. He wants higher pay.
and I think and Howie knows that, and
How
now
he knows it, and he wants to give that higher pay to Jalen because Jalen's playing lights out. And
I
but
mean,
you got to find a way to share the load. I know you have salary cap
and not to mention this too,
stuff
we
like
see
that.
running backs are expendable. So I mean, who's to say there could be a better running back than Miles Sanders out there at the
Yeah.
same time? I
So,
appreciate that, Arkham. Like
thanks, Harkin.
but yeah, it's just something to myself like, it's funny because I'm kind of picturing this in my head. So the fact that if we say hypothetically we do win the Super Bowl, and the fact that Hurts is not Sanders, like this is why I think a lot of people like look, and this is why I think Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts is that people. And what was the one question people asked? Can he win a playoff game? Look what he did. Wins a playoff game.
But here's the thing, Anton. He tried to do this whole stretch of salary cap thing in 2017. How did that do? 5 years of nothing.
And
So I really don't think you can stretch a salary cap. Yeah, you can stretch a salary cap, but it'll set us back. We want a dynasty. We
exactly. I
don't want
mean,
to be set back for like 5 years.
Not like a certain other team that we've been comparing another team to. I think people are tired. You know the team I'm talking about, who follow the same path and now biting the end short
Oh
end.
yeah, the Rams.
The Rams. The Rams kind of bit the bullet on that end.
Yeah, the Rams.
But shout out to the 7 that's in the chat though. Shit, we greatly appreciate that because, like I said, exactly.
We need to develop young players. Is what it is. The problem is with developing young talent is the fact that we have to tank. I don't want to tank. I want a dynasty. I want to win.
Yeah, it's like after 2017, like we've just been depraved of, outside the Phillies going to the World Series. I mean, nothing to be really plain honest.
We haven't had a champion since 2017.
That is true.
We were nearly champions in baseball this year, but we weren't. So this is our the next thing. This is the next thing. If we win this game, we're in the Super Bowl.
And that's the thing too. With the 10th overall
draft, well, but Howie is showing he's making common sense decisions. Yeah, now he is.
And that's going back to what that's kind of going back to what I said. I mean, this is basically what we vilified him because he didn't really, and the fact, and he has come out and I'll give him, like I said, and the fact when he
came out and said it on draft day that when he drafted Devontae Smith, look, I was crap at drafting. I should have picked up Jefferson instead of Aguilar. He flat out said I should have.
Think of this too. Think of this too. AJ Brown. You could have Devontae Smith, Justin Jefferson, maybe have a Quez Watkins.
No. If we got Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith wouldn't have happened.
That's a good point.
Because he's wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1 at that point.
That's true.
I mean, you could easily probably would have easily went with you could have done Justin Jefferson and Devontae Smith, but then you would have to leave AJ Brown out.
That is true.
That's the thing. But now we've got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and a lot of other pieces.
And that's a good point too. It's just like, as much as the much crap we gave Howie, but the fact that he said, look, he pretty much said, yeah, I messed up. And he said, and now I'm thinking to myself, it's like, now I really don't hate him as much. Like the fact he owns up for his mistakes, and the fact he did and let's be real, when we saw he cut Ortega-Weiss, I was like, okay, that's like, thank God. Let's put out, but and trading Rager to the team that we got laughed at from, like, I think that's the most ironic thing that Howie could do.
He traded the team. He traded him to a team that we killed in the NFC Championship game in 2017.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's just like, I really couldn't be much. And, I think pretty much how he kind of just did, redeemed himself. But I think the last couple of years for Jalen Hurts, I think this is also a testament to how great this coaching staff is. Not just Sirianni. Now, let's be real. I mean, when Sirianni, and I could admit this too, I was on record, I was very
I'm
skeptical
going
of
to
it.
say it right now. Screw this. I'm going to say it right now. Gannon was not that bad tonight. Gannon was not bad.
Yeah. And that is true.
Gannon's not bad.
That is true, Anton. Yeah. When he cut JJ, cut Rager, and the fact you got Jordan Davis too. Yeah, I mean,
he cut Rager, cut JJ, Ortega-Whiteside, drafted Jordan Davis, drafted Devontae, traded for AJ. In the past, we would stick with our draft picks.
That it would be true. That is true.
Here's the problem. A lot of the draft picks just did not work.
Yeah, that is true.
And here's the thing. That's the problem. He should have known after a few games that Rager wasn't going to work. He stayed for 2 seasons. 2.
Shit. Yeah, I mean,
he should have been going after 1.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out to the entire fan base for buying the Wings lacrosse tickets and staying out in the parking lot since 8 a.m. You crazy bastards!
Dude, you know what they were doing? They were out there drinking some Bud and
for 12 goddamn hours. Like
for 12 hours, they're just out there drinking beer and getting drunk.
I mean, like you can't tell me get this.
But here's the thing: I have a question.
Shoot.
How do you have the stomach capacity to get to drink that much for that long?
First of all, let me ask you this: who drinks at 8 o'clock in the morning? I know what the only thing I drink is apple. Well, yeah. It's the thing too. This is why a lot
was Cool Cat out there for 12 hours? I highly doubt.
I doubt. I mean, first of all, I would be asleep after that.
That's what I said. I knew after 1 year, Rager wasn't the guy in Hightower. Oh my God, he was.
Oh, don't get me started on Hightower for the fact that it's like, I think he was. Oh God, what could have been?
Now Darnell Pumphrey and Wendell Smallwood. That was like pre-Super Bowl, so.
And I think Smallwood too was also getting up there in age, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Smallwood was one of the key pieces on that championship roster, so I won't even call him a bust. Honestly, he was one of the key pieces.
Yeah, I mean, he did so. And I will say this too: I think we did that. You know what that is?
I know you can drink that long if you can fill your belly with food, but for 12 hours.
I mean, the fact that they found a loophole in that,
I'd be on the ground
because usually. Because tonight, usually the parking didn't open up till I think after 4 o'clock. But the fact that the fact that people still want to have this narrative from their fan base is complete BS. I mean, we'll find ways to tailgate one way or the other. That's just how we are.
Yeah. I saw.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I would have to go to the restroom. When my bladder works, me too, RQ. Me too.
Especially then again. No, in Philadelphia, man, you can find ways to do your business basically. And this is a lot of times too. It's like
what I'm saying is keeping those roster spots occupied with people who aren't producing is hopefully a thing of the past. That's what I think. That's what I hope.
And I said this too. I think a guy for me, I've always said, I would say, that I would think they should, at some point will have to, take to. Obviously give us pink slip, but would have to find a way to get cut. For me, it was Kayvon Wallace. I mean, yes, he's a 4th round pick. I mean, usually 4th round picks, sometimes it's 50-50 on them. These later round picks, it's 50-50. You take a 50-50 chance on them.
Yeah. For taking him 4th round was a bad move. Honestly, it was a very bad move.
But Josh,
But Kayvon Wallace, I don't even know how he even has a roster spot at this point.
Yes, yeah. I mean, when you have other guys like Josh Jobe, some of these unattractive free agents that,
you have guys that we drafted but we never use because Kayvon's taking up that spot.
Yeah, and this is why, and hopefully, I mean, look, and I think Nico, and I know people are gonna say, I mean, I think Nakobe needs a lot more seasoning. I mean, I think having on special teams for me, I would don't mind that he's on special teams. At least he'll get more seasoning as he kind of gets into this league a little bit. So I kind of understand that side of point. Yeah, and that's a good point too. That the hit our drafting has been sometimes been hit and miss sometimes. It hasn't really been.
It can be hit and miss, but when you have highly touted, if you have highly touted athletes out there and you're trying to draft sleepers all the time, it's not going to work.
I mean, yeah. Now it would be sometimes it does work if you find a couple sleepers here and there. But like you said, if you just dropped a lot of sleepers, it's in the end you're going to wind up just it's going to be look a bad look. I mean, we've seen teams do it, but we have seen. I won't say that's okay. This is a weird way of phrasing it, but it's just one of those things. It's like look at I think no Patrick Mahomes wasn't Mahomes the 2017 draft class. I could be wrong. Someone's gonna let us know in the chat because I think
Mahomes was in the 2017 draft class because remember, whatchamacallit,
and that
Alex Smith was starter at the time, that 2017 season, and then he
right.
started.
And I gotta say this too. I think people really need to could see Alex Smith. Yeah, he may not be the flashiest quarterback on paper, but I think he's one of those guys. Without him, Patrick Mahomes, we would not be talking about how great Patrick Mahomes could be without this. And the dude could have lost his life, but
here's what I think. It's Alex Smith. It's also Andy Reid. It's also that coaching staff, very good coaching staff.
I think at this time you still had Doug Peterson. No, Peterson came to what?
Peterson was before.
Right. Okay.
Peterson was with Alex Smith and all that. That wasn't. Right. Well, it wasn't with Mahomes yet.
But it's like
Bieniemy was Mahomes.
Right. OC. Right. And that's true, Arku. Like and Anton, yeah.
Yeah, we're getting free agents, but the problem is what do we do with these free agents after that? Because a lot of these free agents, they're going to want higher money.
Thank you. Because it's like, good Lord, I think I see some bad quarterback drafts. I think God, I'm trying to think. What was the best for me? I think it could have been Patrick Mahomes in 2017. I think Burrow. It's funny because now looking at Joe Burrow, it's like he's never left that.
No, it's like he's played in the league for like 15 years.
It's like now, for the love of God, retool that damn O line because holy crap! If you looked at the dude being sacked, in his rookie year, or not this rookie year, but his.
It's not true. Yeah, to keep getting free agents. It's not. It really isn't because you gotta think too. A lot of these free agents are wanting this high money. Oh, I played well for you guys this season. Let me get paid like $300 million a year.
And you look at some of the guys that we have them tenured, like they know where they're at in their careers.
Do you move up or down the draft if you want draft?
Well, if Howie does want to move up, I think Howie's going to find a way to fleece somebody. I know for a fact
he's going to try to fleece somebody. Get that one of the
top. I mean, the fact he did it twice with the Saints, and well, let's just say Saints. Like we said, Saints fans are just kind of punching themselves. So makes sense.
They only got that one draft pick, though. I know they got Gordon Johnson, but we're talking about draft picks, though.
And draft pick. And before the Gardner Johnson trade,
if you move the 10th pick, hypothetically, what do you see them moving up to?
Well, if he does the right package, I wouldn't be surprised if he somehow to get in the top 5. If I'm, or like close to the top, at least go like to 6 or 7. At least move up a couple spots. What's good? But because I've seen or if you're lucky, knowing that I've been hearing rumblings that the Bears might trade the number 1 overall pick, but that's kind of a bit of a risk for me. I want to see
you move down to get draft capital. No, you move up.
I would definitely move up for sure.
We move up, be that higher draft pick. If the higher draft picks are where you would get better players. Down,
you got to take the best player available, and I think. And that's kind of what Howie did the last couple of years. He took the best player that was available. And, it has really worked out. It really has. I mean, look, yes, we had a 9-8 season last year. I mean, not going to show in the playoffs, but it's like I think Howie just finds ways to get into. I don't know, like he just plays. It's for me. I feel like Howie sometimes plays like the Undertaker and he plays like the ultimate mind games a little bit in the ways that
Yeah.
it just it's and he knows how to screw with teams. Like I said, I mean, before the Gardner Johnson trade, think of this too. We took one of the first. I think we had 3 first rounds that last season. I could be wrong. And the fact he flipped it for another first rounder and a huge haul for draft picks before that we got Gardner Johnson, and he did it the same thing, getting Gardner Johnson the following year and an extra couple draft picks in return. And it's like, damn, like. Now I will, like we said, kind of repeat ourselves. We did overreact to the first trade. When we, traded I think we got a shit ton of draft capital, but we wanted to get decent in return. Like we moved up a couple. I think it was like a couple spots last year, and
we're sitting there like, what is he doing?
But we looked at it like, oh, okay,
and then with that pick, we got Jordan Davis. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then I think it was the same too.
And then we get the Nakobe Dean
in the third round. I think it's also the same draft class that same NFL draft that we traded for AJ Brown at the same time. So you pretty much pulled 3 moves in one, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that bringing in Gardner Johnson extra draft capital, and that really screwed. Obviously screwed with the Saints, but it really kind of.
Who do the Eagles play next? We don't know yet.
We don't know till the end of tomorrow. For both the end, if you're a Chiefs fan, it's the same with the Chiefs fans because we don't know exactly who. Because if it's the Bills, you have to play in Atlanta. But if it's the Bengals, you have to play in Arrowhead, and that's got I don't think they're playing the Cowboys. I feel like they'll be playing the 49ers more than they do the Cowboys. And I'm going to say this as a hate. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm saying this as like the 49ers are like that deadly on defense. And like we said, bias out the window, the Cowboys have just been very inconsistent. I think we've seen it for the last handful of years. I mean, they always have a consistent good season in the regular season, but when you get to the playoffs, it's a whole different team when you look at it. Now, granted, I mean the fact that they got past the first round. I mean, yes, by an 8-9 team. But yeah, but I would say, yeah, it's most likely to be the 49ers. But if let's just think of this too. If somehow the 49ers somehow wet the bed, and that is true. Dak has been very inconsistent, but and it's
they get turned up in the post. No, they can't, man. Let's be real. They're inconsistent. They're very inconsistent.
Like, and this is a real test for them.
I wouldn't even count the wild card game as
something. I mean, I think
the Cowboys and Eagles whenever the Cowboys would be sweet.
Now that,
in a sense, yeah, but in a sense, no.
Realistically, it's.
I know. No, you don't, man. You don't. Nobody does.
But let's just think of it this way. I mean, I will say, there are times we have seen, look, the funny, yeah, he said he gets.
Yeah, they're just inconsistent, man. They're just very inconsistent.
Trust me, Tyler. Have you seen the streams that I usually do? Man, Arku's been kind of, bitching and complaining.
Dude, Dak is like very, very inconsistent, dude, because he's throwing picks and stuff like that. Yeah, the last game he played good in that defense, played good, but it was against an 8-9 team.
And first of all, that's hard to. And you know how bad
Tom Brady played like he was washed.
Oh yeah.
Tom Brady looked like crap in that game.
And Tyler, let me ask you this: do you think Giselle might be just having that big grin on her face, knowing that she really screwed with him?
She probably looked at that game and absolutely belly laughed, like on the ground, holding her stomach, not being able to breathe, type of laugh.
Because it's like,
you chose your family. Or you chose football over your family, man.
First of all, look at the money you made over the 20 years of play. Like, there's nothing for you to prove.
You got nothing to. She is not evil. How is she evil for wanting him to be with the family?
and she says, just retire.
Tom is the one. Tom is the one that's evil.
That is absolutely a good point. But like I said, I mean, I've said this a lot of times too. I think that entire Bucks team needs to be that entire.
If the Cowboys don't beat themselves, they can
We
pull it off.
and that's and
Listen, listen. Yeah, they could very well do that if they don't beat themselves. But the problem is, can they beat can they beat that 49er defense?
I mean, damn, you got. And first of all, can you guard George? Look at not just the defense. Look at the offensive weapons. Brandon Ayuk, CMC, George Kittle. You can't tell me you can't.
No,
First,
no, no, no. Flame, no.
I disagree. I really do.
I highly disagree because it's Tom's fault. Let's just all quit our jobs now, even if we enjoy it. No, that's not what we're saying. He has had a long career. And he's lost his level of skill over the years. You've seen it.
I mean, you can, and even every time when he's out in public,
his family, not just his wife, but his kids wanted him to retire. His whole family wanted him to retire.
Yeah, and Crystal, like the dude's made so much money over the 20 years that he's played. It's like you've already won multiple Super Bowls. Like, what is there's really nothing else here to prove. You're just tarnishing the fact.
But here's also plus. This guy had a Fox deal on the table where he got to do the pregame and postgame shows.
So so you have extra income coming in at the same time.
I said 49ers are the best
You're
team
not
in
wrong.
NFC. Listen, they're like the second best team in NFC.
But you can definitely make the argument that, even though
if they manage to beat us in the NFC Championship game, if they go,
yeah,
and if they win the Super Bowl, I will say that. But if they don't, then no.
Because it's like, and if you go look at the AFC, I mean,
you don't know his wife personally. You don't either.
But no, like we're just thinking because like I said, I'm not because the way that this is the way I'm trying not to put myself in her shoes in terms of being like a family person because like I said, once I get to that stage, there's like I've actually imagined scenarios where by the time my career is said and done, if I was in the way that if and Tom Brady decide to know that look, the dude, you're 45, like there's some players that just
it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. You should tell. Here's the thing. She supported him in his career for I don't know how many goddamn years. He is 45 years old.
Like,
he's an old man. If he goes any further,
he's gonna
he's gonna potentially get hurt.
Yeah, and we've there's like look at Aaron Rodgers. I mean, look, Aaron Rodgers. I think he knows when his time's getting up very soon. So I think and this is why a lot of times I feel like as much as people give a lot of people do with Brady and Rodgers, yes, I can understand there's could be people who are not huge fans of them, but at the and yeah, if that's his choice
ultimately his choice, but it's the wrong choice. That's
we're just always saying we're not trying to disprove it because like
it's the wrong choice because now he's lost his family.
I mean,
his skill has diminished greatly, and he got bounced out of the playoffs. That easily. Not only that he got bounced out of the playoffs, he loses it.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to feel old when I turn 30. So
I feel old when I'm like 35, 40.
And trust me, what my mom's, and I'll say this too. My mom's pushing 40. I mean, look, she looks younger. Now, a lot of people, I will say this too. A lot of people act differently when they look. Sometimes they act and feel different when they're 45. Take my mom for example. Who hey, trust me, I feel like I'm 45 when I wake up every single goddamn morning. So
I tell myself I'm an 80-year-old man trapped in a 24
exactly during the winter time, like for me it feels like I speed up figuratively speaking, like I wake up almost every morning because as cold as it is, I hate the cold worth a damn.
Here's what happens to me. Like every time before it starts to rain, you know how I could tell that I know it is old. It's old.
Not for
If
some people.
you're not, I mean, it's not old if you're an average person, but when you're an athlete, it's old.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Because when you're playing football, if you're playing
Because you can
football,
see
basketball,
it,
or
like you
any
can,
sport, hold on, if you're playing any sport, right, and you get higher in age, your body starts to break down, and his body's starting to break down. And
but
and, and but here's the thing: Tom Brady will probably want to play until he's 80.
so I wouldn't be surprised if it's at some point he's got to. And this is, but like I said, we're not kind of trying to come at your butterfly. I mean, you're probably been one of our
Yeah,
loyals
you're
for
one of
quite
the
some time.
nicest dudes, and I don't want to let
I
the
get that.
man be. He will quit when he's ready. He should be ready now because his play is diminished.
I mean, the fact that and this is what
He's
his.
ruining he's ruining his legacy. That's the problem.
I mean, you're really, like you said, ruin his legacy and tarnishing to the fact that tarnishes his Hall of Fame
Like
credibility.
I don't care about the personal stuff. Let's throw that out the
Or
window. Sure. The whole thing made him lose his wife and his kids. I get that. Cool, whatever. But well, actually, not cool. But whatever.
But yeah, it's just at times like look.
And yes,
I'm gonna,
you do have a right to say how you see it, and it's your
yeah,
opinion.
we're all entitled to our opinion.
You're entitled to your opinion, but here's ours, right? The guy's play is diminishing. We've seen it all season long this season.
And like,
We've seen it in the playoffs when
and
he
not just the playoffs. Look at the regular
and,
season. Like
and
he has.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you, if he was in another division, and yes, I get it. People divorce every day, so that's why I said I'm putting that aside. But here's the thing: his play is diminishing. His team had 8-9 record. Yes, you could say he didn't have a team around him, but then again, you still had Mike Evans.
You saw Chris Godwin, who's been kind of
Still had
injured prone.
Godwin. You still had a lot of pieces. And honestly, essentially, if it didn't have the extra game, he would have went 8-8.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a bad record, and they're not a absolutely horrendous team. But this
then
year,
again, I've seen quarterbacks having worse years, especially in that damn division. So, we're not.
but hold on. Let me finish my thought though. I don't care if the team is bad as a whole. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's part of the problem.
And that's what exactly.
He's bad too. He's bad too. And that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that put this team in a different division. They're not in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're like the.
Heck, put them in the NFC East. They're way out of the
playoffs. Yeah.
Because,
yeah, not just and look at the coaching staff he had with him. Not the greatest coaching staff by any standards for a lot of teams, nowadays. Because Todd
Bowles is head coach. Enough said.
I mean, damn. I mean, like we've seen teams at times not do well with defensive-minded head coaches. Like we said, Tampa Bay, Houston, for crying out loud. But then again, we know where Houston stands as a.
But here's the thing, too. Todd Bowles had another chance. Tom will not be fine because he's part of the problem. His play is diminishing.
But like I said, we'll see what happens at the end of the day.
His play is diminishing. The team around him is diminishing.
But it's just
he's part of the problem. That's the thing.
Like the stubbornness in people is at times, I would say,
it's biting him right now. If he has a bounce back year next year, I'll eat my words.
Oh yeah, but we all will.
After this year, I highly doubt that he.
And especially this was last year of his contract, anyways.
Yeah, it was last year of his contract. But if he goes back to New England, like it's speculated that he's going back to New England to play one more year.
And if he bounces,
if he bounces back, cool. But then people, and I will get it. People are going to say, "Oh, he's a system quarterback because he needed Belichick this whole time."
No, Belichick needed him. If you think about
But
it,
Belichick really needed him because he can't coach without Tom.
that it's crazy. I know that's crazy as it sounds, but yeah, like, history has not done really too. If Tom Brady, like, let's just say hypothetically, like,
His team does not want Tom to leave. Tom may leave since
I could
they
see,
fired
yeah,
coach.
I've seen people been vouching for him, and Byron Leftwich has not done that team any favors either. So,
Byron Leftwich sucked. He sucked.
and I think you could definitely make the argument. I mean, Byron Leftwich could be part one of the problems. I think why that Tampa Bay, because I think if you really think about it,
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Tom Brady's shown his age. The entire team is terrible. The coaching staff is dog crap. Everything about this team is bad.
because it's like, and they have some really good pieces, like we said, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin when he's healthy, got Vita Vea, part of that front seven. I mean,
You legit have guys like Mike Evans.
Leonard Fournette.
It's either Mike Evans or Chris Godwin that keeps dropping balls.
That I think no, Mike Evans has dropped a couple in the breadbasket. And I've seen passes from Tom, even though, like I said, Tom Brady's getting out there in age, but he when he throws on the ball, and I've seen Mike Evans too, when he drops top ball put in the breadbasket type of catches, and the fact that it's off your hands, I'm thinking to myself, like, how? Yeah,
the Niners don't necessarily need him. The Raiders, they're going to need to draft if they're going to go to build a team for the future. They're going to have to draft a quarterback. Jets. Well, I can see them using Tom as like a Band-Aid fix.
Like a bridge quarterback, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I haven't really Titans, you could make the argument for them, that's for sure. I can't disagree with that, because holy crap, that quarterback good Lord. Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, if you looked at his tape in the combine, this dude runs like a gazelle on ice. Oh god, it's ugly.
He is. Oh, dude. Yeah.
But the fact
didn't he have a really bad combine thing?
I think he had like a bad 40 time. I think he had how looks like
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, we all knew that Tom was never a runner. And if you looked at his body if you looked at the pictures or just watched the documentary of, or I don't think a documentary, but look back at what was it, the 2000 combine? I think it was.
There's a picture of him shirtless, and he looked like a squirming.
Yeah, the body.
Yeah. But back to the Eagles, because we got.
I mean, it's kind of been filler content, so.
Yeah.
But it's just like we have quarterbacks now. I mean, some quarterbacks just work well with others. I mean, I feel like we said, going back to
we'll speculate it further in a different episode.
Because it's like it's hard to really take what's true and what's not. And
we don't know any information yet, so I don't know what can happen.
That's a very good point. I mean, not just for Jimmy G. I mean, there's been rumblings.
Jimmy G probably going to back him up. That's the thing.
I think Jimmy. Well, then again, though,
here's the thing. I don't know why the Niners are wanting him though. They've got a guy in I don't know, Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy. They can trade and go back to what
Trey Lance is done. Trey Lance is done. He has attitude problems. So,
and not to mention he had 2 years.
Yeah, I would go with Brock Purdy.
I mean, it's but then again, knowing that I won't say it's going to be crazy, but I'm going to find it funny if somehow the 49ers would give I would definitely laugh at the 49ers.
Purdy's pretty Purdy. You don't say that to Tom.
I get that, Butterfly. Like I said, man, Butterfly, I mean, as much as you've been around the channel as long as, a handful of months. And look, we're not trying to take shots at you. I mean, you're probably one of the best people to come in here. And I get it. We get it. I get that. Because,
we get that. We're not trying to hate on you, man. You're one of the nicest guys here, so.
It's just,
Just we just have differentiating
different view point of perspectives on it, but I mean we do get where you're coming from.
You're going pretty much this way. We're going this way.
But with those differences, though, we do have a little bit of a common middle that we do. Me and Tyler, we do understanding where you're coming from. But I will say, I will agree with that butterfly. Oh yeah, she is a girl. So,
Oh,
but
I never knew that. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah,
You're
but
a good person. You're a good person.
but I will say we do agree that
You're a good woman.
not just
So
Tom Brady, we even Rodgers at times has is 50-50 as well. You know, it's just like it's like and at times, yeah. I mean, Rodgers at times, I mean, he does get hated for some extent and some for good reason. Well, I mean, according for me and Tyler, what we've seen is just how much she's well, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of being a little bit PG here, acting like not acting like his age, so to speak.
he's
It's
childish. She's childish.
yeah, childish. Thank you. That's
You were trying so hard not to curse.
like yeah, it's like it's hard. You know, for those who kind of don't know, it's hard when being monetized. It is kind of hard because we've been very unfiltered for as long as we have.
Dude, I couldn't stop dropping F-bombs
Yeah,
for
dude,
like the first
this
few
man over
episodes.
here was swearing like a dang sailor. But I mean,
Dude, I still do like in my private
well,
life. I do.
but there will be a couple occasions where I think YouTube would really not mind if we just throw like a one or two f bombs out there. But it's it's like it's like if it's like early, it's like 8 seconds in, which we never really it's usually more the intro and stuff like that. But it's like yeah, I mean Rogers, yes,
It's like the intro. What the is
yeah, but yeah, I mean I
I
get
bleed myself there, so don't demonetize this YouTube.
well unless I need to get myself a soundboard. That's what I need right. That'll be a
With
one thing. But and that's the thing too. It's just like
I read that teams are
yeah,
looking
there's been a lot of
at
talks that
Broncos tight. Why the Broncos? Titans I get and the Panthers I get, but the Broncos?
I just don't see. I mean, you had to
You
owe that
just
many
traded for
money.
Russell Wilson. The problem wasn't Russell Wilson this whole time. It was the fact that the coaching was bad.
But
They
the
didn't
fact,
utilize him right because he's not a pocket passer. You got to use him as a pocket passer.
well,
He's
here's
running
the other
finding
thing
guy.
too. And Wilson's not the same quarterback as he used to be, and you got to think too is he's already in his mid-30s. So at some point,
How do you know that? Because there's been a few games that they had won where he's running left
that
and
is
right.
true. You know what?
Finding open guy.
I'm like when I saw those games, it's like what? Like I just scratched my head like in confusion. It's like what is this? Like I don't know exactly what I was seeing. It's just like first of all, we saw that Russell was bad for most of the season, but the last two games we see like he was like playing like the Russell Wilson of old. It's like what gives? What gives? But then again, it also like I said, comes down to coaching, and I think he just did it on purpose just to get him fired. I mean, I know I'm kind of like not reading. I think I'm kind of reading heavily into it, but that's just how it's coming off to me.
Because not even the players wanted to play for.
That's I agree with that with Jorge. I say if I'm Rogers, this
I
was
don't
his
think
retire.
it makes sense for the Packers to let him go.
I
Here's the
mean,
problem. I feel like it makes sense because he already has animosity with his players. The receivers don't trust him.
and this goes back.
He's been trying so hard, and he looks the same age because all the stress that he put himself.
And that I can understand this.
And it's the stress that he put himself in because and it's also the drugs he was doing on the side.
Well, yeah,
That came out. He was doing acid.
yeah.
Before a game. But here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers I feel like he won't go back to the Packers because
you look at the last couple of years.
it's not.
Yeah,
no, hold on. It's not the last couple of years. It's the fact that this year caused animosity with his team. There's always finger pointing. He wasn't taking accountability for anything. Also, it's like, oh, this guy sucks. This guy sucks. This guy sucks. He can't catch a ball. He can't catch a ball. It's like I forget, but I think it has something to do with his contract, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, especially had that money.
He can always restructure
it.
He can always restructure that contract to where he can get a lesser known contract. I mean, he can go to get a 1 year deal and go into free agency next year.
And
But
like going back to
but the
yeah,
way but the way he's been acting, he's gonna ask for a trade.
I mean it's been. I mean, we've been hearing a lot of trade rumors for Aaron Rodgers. What for the last 2 to 3 years? And also think of
Not
this too.
actually not the last 2 3 years. I'm talking about like all this year. There
Yeah,
was a
there's
lot
been
of
a heavy lot of rumors,
heavy rumors.
and I agree with and I agree with Flame. I mean, if you looked at what Aaron Rodgers looked like, he looks a lot older than his.
Yeah,
Than,
he looks old as dirt now. But
yeah,
here's the problem: it's the stress and the acid.
that
All it is. No, he's not. He's dating a model now.
yeah.
He's dating I think an Instagram model. I think
Well, you
either an
know,
Instagram model or somebody. But it's like he's like
but
10. She's like 10 times younger than he is.
it's like, but well, I don't want to get into that. But going back to what we said about Rodgers to wrap this up, it's funny because it's like like it's like with the accountability issues. Like look what happens when the Packers drafted Jordan Love. That's
That was the first catalyst because he got so angry about it.
oh yeah, we get that.
Oh yeah, he's not married. Yeah, he's not married. He the thing yeah, the whole he got
Yeah,
engaged to Shailene Woodley that one time, and then
and that didn't really work out.
like a week later she dumped him.
Like but it's just like football. A lot of like it's just NFL in general. It's just like it's not I'd say a weird sport, but just weird your outside life outside the NFL it's been crazy. But I will say
I feel
like
like this whole outside the NFL thing for these players is kind of like a really crappy reality show.
like some of these reality shows nowadays.
And
But
it's only and here's the thing, it's only between two guys. That's Brady and Rodgers. It's like a
it's
really, really crappy reality show.
as well. But like I said, going back to what I said, yeah, I mean, when they first drafted Jordan Love, it's like, I think people tend to forget. Remember when Brett Favre was still at the top of his game, and remember when they
Brett
drafted
Favre was petty too. Brett Favre was petty. He was like,
yeah,
"What are
and
you doing?"
yeah, and
I
look
think
how
I'm not
that's.
allowed. I prefer a Catholic.
I mean, to each their own. I mean, we
Dude,
really,
keep strong, buddy.
but
Hey, man,
like I said, this makes it
I really don't care. I don't even have a type, so I just
from
don't care.
like this is basically like going back to like I said with the catalyst. It's like coming full circle. It's just like almost 17 years later. I think a lot of teams pass. It's funny, and I think he also made it. Oh,
Good for
absolutely.
you, amen.
But yeah, and I think he made one comment at one point. I think in 2005 said, and I think someone asked him, "Is the 49ers going to regret? Are you they're going to regret drafting him?" I think he gave him. I would say that. God, how do I describe? I think Tyler knows where I'm going with this. I think the asked him a question. It's like, "Do you regret the 49ers not picking you?" I think he was going to say, I think the Niners are going to regret, drafting Smith over me, and I mean, look, I don't think Smith did. I think Smith never had a bad career. I think just at times it was just there's some point
If it was up to me, I would prefer a good date. Exactly.
facts.
That's all you need, brother. It's a good date. Good woman.
It really is. But like I said, I mean, look, Alex Smith. I mean, the fact that when he was with Washington, the fact that he suffered the same exact injury that Joe Theismann did, and still fought his way back. Could be it was a life threatening thing. Yes, I know people say, "Oh, how could you?" But you'd be surprised. But the fact that it took
He was a dog in his day, but we beat around that bush a lot of times and talked about Alex Smith highly.
it's
He
just like
had a great
people.
career, man.
I mean, it could have been a lot better if he didn't get hurt. Yeah, definitely for sure. But it's just like I think and this is why I think a lot of people say too. I think Smith, even though he's retired, who's to say? I think he can't make a good quarterbacks coach. I really do think he can. Just think about it. With him and Andy Reid, oh, that's good. That could be a really good coaching combination because I think, like I said, if let's just say this: if Andy Reid wasn't there with Kansas City nor Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes would totally be forgotten.
I feel like when I'm listening to you and the sports thing, but over here in the comments, it's about relationships and stuff. It's weird.
It's weird, but it's funny. But sometimes life does Like I said, it's a bad soap opera. It's just the way.
It's like a rom-com over here and a sports drama over here.
It's like battle of both worlds. But like I said, going back to final things up, I'm happy. Let's be real. I mean, it's yeah. So the Eagles win 38-7. The last time we had that score was in 2017.
Yo, stats. We gotta do stats.
Stats, sure thing.
Yep.
So
you said you're gonna pull them up.
Yeah. That God, I have a lot of. And I'm like my iPhone's so organized in like different boxes, like it's hard to find shit. So for the Giants, Daniel Jones, who in his contract year went 15 for 27, 135 yards on the pick. Saquon Barkley was pretty much the leading rusher with 9 carries for 61 yards, was set a 6.8 yards per carry. Daniel Jones had his attempts on 6 attempts for 24 yards. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
the fact that
I have to agree, Butterfly. He was on fire.
But yeah. But Daniel Jones, 6 attempts for 24 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. Matt Breida, 4 attempts for 23 yards on one of the touchdowns. The only touchdown that they have as a team, though, for rushing 118.
That play had me, my dad,
like that had. I almost see panic.
We were fooled because even the camera guy was fooled.
Yeah, I like these read
from that right side going to the left.
But exactly, he was that. Like I said, this is going back to what I said about with Jalen Hurts having that underdog mentality and that leadership that his dad taught, what he learned from his dad, and a lot of. But
I said this year when they were going on that streak and that undefeated streak. I said at 8-0, this guy was a dog. I said at 8-0.
But as for the receiving core, we know that Richie James, 10 targets for 7 receptions for 51 yards. But as a team, though, with a lot of different guys, 135 total yards for the wide receiver core. And I will say this too, though. I mean, they got some guys that I think they may be like these flashy players, but they can be very effective. Like Isaiah Hodgins for one.
Slade. Yeah, I don't think it's new muscle. I think he's been a really buff dude for his entire.
It does look like he did put on muscle, but
he put on. He did. He did beef.
Yeah, he put on 6'1", 235. That's dude. That's
no wonder there's guys barreling through guys when he's running.
Yeah, this dude. And yes, I know the cameras doesn't really do Jalen Hurts any justice for a guy of his size.
Yeah, because to me he looks a bit skinnier than 235. Yeah, but he's 235, lean.
Yes, lean 235.
He's not just 235. He is a lean 235.
He's got nice speed, but if you looked at last year, Cam Jordan, if you're ever watching this, how is your ankle still taped up after getting juked out of your shoes? That was just disgusting.
Camera does add 10 pounds. For me, it kind of subtracts 10 pounds because he doesn't look.
He shortens it. Like if you
he looks less than 235 in my opinion.
Thing is, too, me and Tyler have been a long time wrestling fans. If you looked at me and Tyler watch wrestling a lot. Cameras do not justify. Like if you got someone like 7 foot, it doesn't. They look a lot because certain angles make guys a lot bigger than what they truly show. Because
there's a woman in wrestling. Her name is Raquel Gonzalez. She looks 7 foot, but she's really only 6 foot.
6'1".
She's only 6 foot. 6 foot 1.
Yeah,
that's all she is. That's all she is. And and the way the camera angles are, they make her look 7 foot.
Yeah, but for Jalen Hurts, tonight, 16 for 24, 154 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it seemed like Patrick Mahomes only tweaked his leg.
Trust me,
when I looked at that replay, I'm like, it might be either he tweaked it or sprained it. But it
trust me, sprained ankle is no joke. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
trust me,
Congratulations, you guys
Hey,
were
we got to
the
give your
better
flowers
team.
too. You,
I'm happy that my team made it this far. See, that's great, man. I'm
oh,
happy your team made it this far too because I didn't expect you guys to win against the Vikings, but you guys pulled it out and won.
even though but yeah,
Even though the Vikings have a bad defense,
but I mean,
they were still favored to win that game.
and
So
and this is where I think let's say this is where Brian Dable comes in. It's like that's another guy. And with the
I
Giants, I think they did. I think he's that perfect leader for that team for years to come.
I will say, yeah, I will say this, Rob. I'm going to say this right now. If Nick Sirianni does not win Coach of the Year, I would give it to Brian Dable.
Dable or Doug Peterson. Those are
I
my
would
two
definitely.
candidates.
Honestly, I would definitely give it to Brian Dable. Definitely.
Oh, hands down for sure. But there's going to be some writers going to make a good argument for Doug Peterson and how the Jaguars turned out. So it's going to be very interesting of how most of these awards are going to be. But like I said,
Oh yeah, I didn't pick that up.
yeah,
Butterfly. That
he
was
had
one of those plays and then for like half the game, he was playing with one shoe on.
yeah, and like his ankle was heavily taped for the remainder.
Yeah, I twisted my ankle when I was 12 year old and it hurt like super bad.
Trust me, sprained ankles.
I can
Like I said, it's
imagine
no
you can imagine how Patrick Mahomes felt in that game.
because
I feel bad for
it's funny.
DJ. I hope he does. They
I'll
don't
say
let
it's
him.
funny, but I do have a story about this because I have actually dealt with the. I would say I actually rolled my ankle, but not in terms of the way that how I think Hurts' record
Remind me, what is Jalen Hurts' record this year?
before he got hurt was 13-1 plus the fact that
He was yeah, he was 13-1 before he got hurt, and then he's 2-0 coming back.
and what was that one question surrounding Jalen Hurts? Can he win a playoff game?
He did it.
Today he showed it.
He
Even
did
though
it.
he didn't, even though it's not saying, even though it didn't look like he was 100%, I feel like they were not. I think there could have been.
I don't think he didn't look 100%. He looked 100% to me. He looked totally 100%.
Oh, trust me, yeah, it'll take multiple weeks for your. If you have a sprained ankle, that shit's going to like at least take between. It depends on the severity. Though. If you just roll it, it give you about 2-3 weeks at most. Because for me, I mean, from an athlete standpoint, that shit's no damn joke. Yeah, and yes, but
like I said during the hardcore sports stream, Giants were in the playoffs. There's 18 teams that went fishing after week 18. My Patriots were one of those teams fishing right now. Yeah, they missed the playoffs by a game. That's yeah, that was pretty. That was heart wrenching for your fan base, and I feel for them.
especially it's like even though let's get a new OC.
They were a game out. They were a game out. If the Dolphins lost their game, and if they would have won their game, the Patriots would have been.
And I'm going to give the Dolphins a lot of credit too. I mean, even though, let's be real,
15-1, and we were in position to win that Commanders game. Yeah.
Yeah. But going further with the stats, so for the rushing, like I said, 12 attempts for Kenny Gainwell, 112 yards on touchdown, almost 10 yards per carry.
And that touchdown happened when it was 31-7.
It's basically
so it didn't even matter.
So basically, it's like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's just a coincidence that they just put up 38 points. But Miles Sanders had a good day of his own. 17 attempts for 90 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. Jalen Hurts,
and just like always, man, he was the giant killer. Just like always.
Boston Scott, six attempts for 32 yards and a touchdown. So Miles Sanders, the only one did not have a touchdown, but at that point, that really didn't really matter. But at least Miles got his, and I can see
he did enough to move the chains and to get
you don't really want to burn. You don't really want to burn out your best players going forward. No. So and I can see why he doesn't have 100 yards. So for me, I get that. You don't because not to mention too, you won't have a lot. And
come on, the only way we lose is if we lose the turnover battle.
Yeah, it's a mental game.
And that was what happened. And that's literally what happened. We had an easy time because we did not beat ourselves and we did not turn the ball over. Yes, there were times where they did stuff us for third and downs. There were a few times where we had there were a few times where we had three and outs. It was like three and outs in that entire game for us.
Oh yeah,
But we played well enough to
to make up for that.
make up for this, to make up for those small miscues.
Absolutely, butterfly, and that's and
Yeah,
going back to
man.
what you said about that too. It's just like most times if you look at the like if you look at last year and stuff like that, we've at sometimes we haven't really it's just one of those things. It's like it's hard to really and and Tyler knows me better than anybody who knows the mental game is the toughest thing to battle. Because like I said, from an athlete's perspective, yes, the mental game is a tough thing in sports because I will say that, but the fact that Gardner John and during the sideline report though that they talked about. Here, one of the reporters heard Garner Johnson say in the locker room said, "Look, it's only one half. Game's not done yet." And this is why a lot of times I think Gardner Johnson is going to be worth that
The
extension or
only
what.
yeah, the only gripe that I had about the game was Gannon did play a little bit soft for like two drives.
Yeah,
At that time, he did play a little bit soft, but he did clean it up
and
when they needed to clean it up. He did get some quality stops.
And look, I
Um,
mean, I think I think that what in the early in the second quarter when they got that seven, it's like I was like, I wasn't really my mind was telling me not to panic, but it's just like I was like,
dude,
ugh.
you were in the group chat on Facebook, our little group chat that we
I was
have.
like, bro, I was like, what do we do? Like, everybody's
You
so
were
concerned.
like, you were like, what is Gannon doing? Gannon's really trying to blow this. I was good. I was about to say, dude, calm down, like I always do, because
But
I'm sitting there like, please don't tell me we're playing soft. I was getting angry too, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just
but
gonna
at least the
chill.
positive. But like you said, I mean, in the end, that can come back to bite us. And and so you'd be surprised. I mean, Josh Jobe, I thought looked like yes, and Mr. Short sample size without him. Um, but man, we have guys that can hit like a freight train. Look at
Dude,
Marcus,
dude. Oh my God.
Josh Jobe, one of our under.
I have a feeling that the Eagles have a great chance of playing Super Bowl. I have a feeling that we do too. If we can play at a high level against the Niners or against the Cowboys, whoever wins that game, I feel like we'll be in the Super Bowl this year. We will definitely be in the Super Bowl this year.
It's and like I said, that's always the biggest. So not just for like Jalen Hurts can win a playoff game, but I think Hurts has really answered all the questions. Can he be that franchise quarterback? Especially the fact that this is a contract year for him, and he pretty much answered all those damn questions. And I would give you a huge shout out to Joy Taylor for sticking with us since day one.
Joy Taylor, I freaking
Also, happy
love
belated
you.
birthday to Joy Taylor too. 36 does looks really well on her. I will say that.
36 looking 25.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Let me tell
But
you something. Thank you, Joy Taylor. Thank you. You've been rocking with us the entire season. You've been saying this team has been dogs all year. You've been backing us the entire way.
absolutely, I agree. 100%.
And
And
I agree too, Anton. I feel like if we don't lay an absolute
yeah, that's
bird,
right. Butterfly is from Texas, so I
I will
get
be for
that.
the Cowboys, of course, going for the Eagles if Cowboys lose.
I get that.
See, I get that too. But
But
Joy Taylor
exactly,
looks at things objectively, and that's why I like her. She's
and
not biased. She looks at things of what it is. She goes,
and
look,
not just
this
Joy
team is.
Taylor,
She's like, look, this team is this because they're playing like this.
or like she's
Or
like
this.
not just us. I mean, she actually makes some. And at times, yeah, there's some things that, which there are times like there's some things like she
Everybody
does.
has bad takes sometimes. Like that's the point.
I mean, well, let's show well, not take it too far with or certain others, but like I said, go with some analysts that are not or like put the bias aside. Look at Terry Bradshaw, probably one of the all time greats of his generation. Even though we hate the Pittsburgh Steelers because it's we hate all things Pittsburgh, but he knows where he knows to good talent when he sees it. Well, unless you're not Michael Strahan, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, you're fair too, Butterfly. Yeah, you're very
Yeah,
fair.
and look,
Joey basically says says basically, why does this only apply to this team?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Where's the bullshit narrative? It's
Chief
like
sees
that.
Chief sees how we see this. When Jalen Hurts went down, she goes, "Why is the narrative always when a player goes down, they don't deserve MVP when it comes to Philly?"
Well,
And she said it just like that too. When it comes to Philly, why is it when a player goes down, they
it
don't
really
deserve
got
MVP?
you thinking too. It got most of us Eagles fans thinking. I was like,
No, it got us. No, it didn't get us thinking. It got us thinking. Thank you, Joy.
at
Thank you.
least you see the clearer picture.
You see it.
But yeah, that's crazy too. Looking at some of these quarterback, and like I said, I mean, hopefully the NFL would definitely find a way to not have the MVP more be quarterback driven. But like I said, but Burrow is another guy that ooh, yeah, that Bills and Bengals team is going to be interesting to say the least. I will say. But tomorrow's going to be slated.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very good. A very good thing. I feel like the Cowboys and Niners game is going to be competitive. I feel like
It's
the
going to be very
Bills
high
and Bengals
scoring. I
game
can
is
tell you
going to
that
be,
much.
yeah, it's going to be a very good high scoring game. The Bills and the Bengals going to be a very good game. So we'll see where those two stand out
I
before the
think with the
NFC.
Bills, I will say, if you watched their game against the Dolphins, they looked a little bit shaky. That
They
kind of
were
concern.
shaky. They were very shaky in that game. I do agree because they gave
Like
up
Josh
30.
Allen,
They
because
gave up 30, 31 points on the
on
Dolphins
defense,
on defense against a backup quarterback.
like yeah, that's like a seventh round, like a sixth or seventh round pick, and the fact that you almost lost to a backup, a third string quarterback. But it's just like I always made this argument too. I think when Brian Daboll left, Josh Allen has not been the same. That's just one of my biggest arguments. I think without Brian Daboll, because for me, Josh Allen, when he not turned the ball over the first half of the season, he was my front runner for MVP. That was my MVP candidate. And
Yeah,
when he started turning the ball over, it's like, oh crap.
it was bad, man. It was very
Oh,
bad.
I thought Patrick Mahomes having like double digit turn.
Again, there was a time during the season where the Bills were sliding.
Yeah, I thought myself
You
like,
seen it.
are the Dolphins really going to take this division away?
I-
I think there was like first half there were
you saw it too. It was like they were sliding in the middle of the season. You're like, oh no.
you still had the Dolphins at the top at one point. You had the Jets second, and well, we know what happened to the Jets. They just utterly collapsed in the worst way.
And then at one point, the Jets were at the top.
Exactly, and they just collapsed. Like I've never seen a team collapse so badly. But
How do you go 5-1, 7-4, and then plummet? Why do we say the
yeah,
Eagles
where's that
haven't
narrative
played
around the
anyone?
49ers? This 11-game win streak
Exactly.
bullshit.
You know what? And also, Jolie Taylor said the same thing. Why are you saying they're not? Why are you saying the Eagles haven't played anyone, but the Niners haven't played anyone?
I mean, look at the
But
division that the Niners
but
are in.
but here's the thing, Rob. Here's the thing. They said the same thing about us in 2017. Look what happened.
We won the Super Bowl. Could have
Look
been a
what
lot.
happened.
But, like I said, I mean, like, do I hate the 49ers? No, I think they're probably one of the most talented teams in the NFL. Could they be in a better division? Absolutely. That NFC West, well, I would say it's
And I'm not
terrible.
and I'm not gonna be one of those fans to be like I'm gonna dog their schedule because they're playing weak teams. This is not college football.
Oh, I mean, you've seen college footballs.
Here's the thing. College football that matters.
Oh, yeah.
Pros that doesn't matter at all.
The Super Bowl's in February. I don't exactly know what
February
the.
9th? February 9th, I think.
No, that's the award show.
Hold
I
on, hold
can't
on,
remember.
hold on, hold on. Yeah, that is the
Yeah,
award show.
yeah.
Never mind.
Tyler, look that
Then
up because it's somewhere in February that I know for a fact.
Super Bowl
But
2023,
and yeah, like
February
Tyler,
12th.
wait, what's on the 12th?
12th, yeah.
Okay, it sounds like they did push it back a little bit because of what especially what exactly. And also too, if you're the Buffalo Bills, stop milking the living.
It'll be February 12th at 6:30.
What day is that?
February 12th, 2023 at 6:30.
No, what day is that? It's like day of the week.
Sunday. It's always Super Bowl Sunday.
Right. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm not working. Whoever's in the Super Bowl, I will be. Hopefully, hopefully,
remember, Rob, when it's the Super Bowl, it's always on a Sunday.
right? Because it's like, well,
Because remember, the Super Bowl Sunday moniker. You're not going to
and
call
also
Super
too,
Monday.
I just realized this too. I actually, this has actually been kind of fun. Not just doing the Eagles reactions, but just kind of talking football in general. Do you
Certain
guys ever?
players and teams are given favors.
That is true. I was going to say that. And if you looked at some of the times,
I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be
barbecue on a
cooking
Super
some
Bowl
good
Sunday.
barbecue, and
Hell yes,
I don't know what the hell I'm doing for Super Bowl.
probably.
I don't.
Only for me, I'm
Probably
probably going
not.
to be
Maybe
live.
nothing.
I'm
Probably gonna.
probably looking live play-by-play stream because I was really 2 days. Yeah, that's right. Two
I
days.
don't know. I honestly don't know what the hell I'm doing for Super Bowl
Well,
Sunday.
if you want to hop on out and do a Super Bowl
2 days
stream,
before Valentine's Day. Yes, the Eagles winning, and I'm going to cry 2 days later because I'm single.
hey, because he's gonna play the world's smallest violin. Sorry, I had to pull the SpongeBob reference. Sorry, but going back to what Anna said, certain like there was some, do you find really weird that some of these like players like whatever like say like superstar quarterback when they get hit hard, at least find they get
Rob, ask for your Sunday that Sunday
well.
off.
Well, we don't know. Well, for right now, because my schedule right now scheduled for this week's till the 28th. So I don't exactly know for the month of February is looking like for me. So I will let Tyler know if I'm
Yeah, when you figure that out, and if you're not free, I don't have Valentine's Day date because I'm broke.
honestly for me. I never really do shit on Valentine's Day. It's just
I
other
don't
than just
give a shit.
the only
For
thing
one, I'm
I have.
single.
Well,
For
I'm
one,
not
I'm
gonna
single.
fucking. I'm
For
gonna
one,
fucking.
I'm single, and for two, I'm broke.
But
I ain't got shit.
like the only thing I do on Valentine's Day, like, well, I normally usually do this almost every single year with my girl. We just sit in, just watch movies, and probably just eat pizza or whatnot. Just order food or order takeout. Just my typical, you
Dude,
know. That's
you
just how
love
that's just for me. That's just how I would do it. But
it.
it, go back to what I was saying earlier before we got all trapped before the Valentine's Day crap. I don't know where that came from, but
Butterfly saying 2 days before Valentine's Day.
yeah.
That's where that came
We,
from.
but don't you
And
think
then
it's
I
really
mentioned my ass would be happy about the Super Bowl win if we win, and then I'd be crying because I'm single 2 days
and
later.
I didn't get that RQ, but if you
I
know me and
mostly watch
Tyler,
basketball. Of course, because you can comment on basketball stuff during the stream. I mean, someone
oh,
broke up with me right
that's
before
gotta suck.
dude. That's some
I have
petty
done that.
BS.
I've had that happen to me
That is
once.
some petty BS that should stay in high school.
Hey, good shit though. Good shit, butterfly.
Hey,
You
you're
know,
teaching the younger. Hey, if it's the younger generation, you're teaching the younger generation, so you're doing a good deed.
but going
Good
back to what
job.
I was before we got off the beaten path, don't you think? Did you feel like this where these superstar quarterbacks they always get somehow these they're like in favor of roughing the passer call, get called on the defense a lot because that's so I've always found that
It's been that
coincidental.
way for like 10 plus years. We were trying to help with the whole concussion thing by
Which I get that.
whatchamacallit.
I mean, you got the Carson. Well, and again, that's what I think. Where the Carson Palmer. For those who know what the Carson Palmer is, you can't tackle a quarterback below the knees. But if you try to wrap him up from the upper body and not try to slam him to the ground, if you just tackle him, not slam him. I mean, I've seen worse
No,
roughing the passer.
even if you tackle them, they're gonna call it. They literally want you to grab the
No,
player,
just
lay
officiating
him
sports
down.
has been
Look,
very.
here's what they want you to do now. I assume they want you to grab the player lightly, gently lay him down.
Oh my god! Could you imagine the amount of? I mean, there's been a lot of memes and something going around like social media because of that.
Gently lay him down, put a pillow under his head, put a blanket over him, kiss him goodnight, walk off the field. What they want you to do. I left for a couple of seconds. I remember virtual
Rail fan.
rail fan, and I have Doc's Caboose rail cam on my TV. I saw police cars. Someone was
Don't get
trying to cross the tracks and got stuck. That's
exactly,
interesting.
and that's I agree with random. Like, how do we value quarterbacks depending on the supporting cast? That's always the biggest
It's because they're the stars, pretty much.
because that
The
is I mean,
supporting cast aren't the stars. Quarterbacks are the stars.
because like they're always the one that's under center in the bright lights. That's I can agree to that. I can agree with that to some extent, but I kind of understand. God, I mean, look at I mean, we have seen well for lack of a better term, mediocre QB play. I mean, Saints. I mean, good lord. I mean, when you had a fully healthy Jameis Winston and just, blech, and you had Mr. Red Rifle himself, Andy Dalton, just yikes.
Our school office turns into a floral shop with all the stuffed animals and flowers. The students bring each other on Valentine's Day. The stuff is not allowed in class.
A lot of school. Well, we'll talk more about that.
What kind of BS rule is that?
I don't know what school that you'll be teaching at. I mean,
dude, that's like prison. Good
for me,
Lord.
that's always been for me. That's always felt like doing.
You can't give
like exchange Valentine's.
Animals, you can't give stuff for Valentine's.
That's for me. That's
not a flower thing. Not a flower thing. I get because of allergies, but stuffed animals.
Come on, first of all, that's like an annual Valentine's tradition and shit, stuff like that.
Giving them animals and chocolates. Yeah.
I mean, it's like first of all, yeah, I remember that
remember
as
those
well.
Valentine's Day gifts you'd get in school? Yo, remember the Valentine's Day parties you would have?
Oh
when
my
you were, like,
god!
Sick? And
shit. That was another freaking story we forgot to tell on that. God damn it,
dude. We'll get to that when it gets to February.
I think I already had this our next Q&A or chill stream on Tuesday.
We'll get that when it hits February. They pick
up. Okay. Now
it's distracting. Okay,
that's very okay. That makes sense. I was about to say because I mean, good lord.
I was going to say too. Like,
but thank you for the clarification.
Balloons at all. Thanks for the clarification, though. I didn't get it.
I mean,
but I should have picked it up. It was distracting. I should.
It really was, but then I could.
Again, we weren't technically the best students in high school anyway. So,
I mean, if you know us, I mean,
Valentine's Day is a cool holiday. I agree because I'm single and it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, like I say, because we're gonna have our next chill stream on Tuesday at 1:00 in the afternoon because we want to do these every so often, try to open up more. You're gonna get to know us behind the screen.
We give you guys some comedy. We give you guys some everything, man. It's my cousin's day on that day too. You can celebrate your birthday. That's cool. You can celebrate your cousin's birthday. That's awesome.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's really kind of hard to really. Well, we don't want to get more into it, but yeah. So that's gonna do it. I gotta do some stuff right afterwards. I gotta make some lunch for tomorrow for work, and hopefully gonna watch more football. And let's see where everything sits. And if whoever the Eagles play, I'm definitely streaming that game for sure.
But we're the NFC Championship, baby! Woo-hoo!
Well, while we have a chance, let's play the damn song again, shall we?
Yo, roll that. Let's go,
sir.
Let's go.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. You know what? That's good. Shout out to Butterfly for that idea. Do like a bit of a Valentine's Day and just kind of hang out.
We're gonna do that.
Hey,
man.
shout out.
Saint Valentine's is a martyr. He was killed by the king because of his defensive marriage. Well, that is BS, man. That is BS. Why in the hell would he be killed? Because he likes marriage, man. That's BS, man.
But, it's just one of those things. But like I said, I will be live for the championship game, whoever the Eagles do play. Hopefully I'll try to do both if I can. If not, I'll just stick with the Eagles. I mean, it's probably going to be my last Eagles. Hopefully, if the Eagles do make the Super Bowl, that could be my last.
Oh, God. I'm not going to repeat what you just wrote.
Yeah. But shout out to the 70s still coming around. Just
talking. Is flying around.
I mean,
he hasn't struck me yet, Butterfly, but she or he will get there. But anyway.
But yeah, so shout out to Butterfly for that idea. So we'll do God damn it. Oh God.
Dude,
Sorry,
you need to take some like Tums or something,
no, I had a burp coming
or
on.
acid
I didn't want to
reflux.
have the bourbon on my microphone. That's the
No,
thing. I had to hold it
no,
down.
you need to take some like acid reflux
Actually,
shit.
for surprising, I don't even have acid reflux. It's surprising I never
Or
get it.
take some gas X or something. I
Like
don't know.
like no, because I
Take
just have
your
these.
burp.
Like it's just like I don't want to burn on my microphone, so I just have to hold that shit down. It's like, but
You're gonna hurt yourself doing that. You're gonna spontaneously combust in your chest doing that.
well, yeah. Well, I think the worst thing you want to do is hold a sneeze in. So let's that's a little bit of food for thought. Don't hold your sneeze in
But
because I've talked. Well, I know it kind of got a little bit off the rails.
but
I mean, it's
but guess what, Rob? We are
we're the
60
champ.
minutes. We are 60 minutes. 60 minutes away from the Super Bowl.
Who would have?
60 minutes.
But yeah, and also too for those who are huge baseball fans out there, look out because you're going to see more of these, especially for Phillies fan. I'm going to start more of that on stream.
Bro, imagine if Philly wins the Super Bowl and then this Philly season we win a freaking World Series.
And that's
Philly's gonna burn. Philly's gonna burn this year.
But
Oh man.
But before we get out of here, though, we do have Monday at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We haven't really done one episode a little bit of the Phillies Talk podcast. I know we kind of put down the back burner a little bit because it's like there's really not much Phillies news to go around. But I did want to kind of talk about some few things and kind of just give it like a recap. And that's true. I mean, not just
Jorge. Yeah, Jorge, you got that right. Hardcore Sports is where it's at, brother. You know the vibes.
I mean, great. And like I said too, I want to give a huge shout out to the Hardcore Sports Network as well. I mean,
man,
after
well,
let's just say after crazy things has happened,
you
like
know
I said,
the vibes, man.
I
know
mean,
the vibes, man. Tell me.
It's and one thing before we get out of here, like I said, we might not be the most likable people in the world. Like I said, if you don't like how we do things, I mean, look, we don't here to appease people. That's kind of the idea.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, Rob. We don't have many haters. We have some haters. I get that. We've seen it in the comments. We've seen it. But
I mean, yeah,
we've gotten a heck of a lot of love from these people, man. Butterfly showing us love.
And I mean, we had a couple people join our membership program as well. And
some people in the membership showing us love. The group.
And I will say this too, though. I did notify Tyler about this because I had to restart the entire dang thing for the membership program because I looked at the prices originally. It's like, oh yeah, but I will do.
It was steep, and good luck with that because I'm not really Jorge, because I'm not really
honestly, I have not watched it. I will say, I will admit this. I have not watched NASCAR since the days of Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and who am I missing? Dale Earnhardt Jr.
I haven't watched it since then either.
And I agree, Butterfly.
But hold on. But here's the thing. I was never really a NASCAR fan, regardless. Even though I watched it growing up, I was never really a fan.
Because I'm thinking of the live play up and say, we got another left turn. It's like, I'm going to start
back in 10 freaking minutes. He won't miss a freaking thing.
Like, they're just going to left turn. It's like,
I
get it. I mean, I know.
Here's the thing: is left turn, occasional crash, left turn,
occasional pit stop here and there.
Occasional pit stop, left turn, occasional crash.
God, I forgot about Richard Petty too. Oh, I forgot about Richard Petty from NASCAR. I forgot about him. He was a very under one.
Left turn.
I will say this too: as soon, for me, Jeff Gordon is always going to be my NASCAR driver because that's who I've been kind of watching. I was like, I'm not like a diehard NASCAR.
You know who my old favorite freaking NASCAR driver was when I was not literally into NASCAR, but like kind of into it.
Who?
Kyle Busch.
God, I forgot about Kyle Busch. Is he still even racing nowadays?
Yeah, he's still racing. I think.
Holy shit! I completely forgot about him. I think he's just.
he was like one of my favorites growing up, but then I kind of obviously.
But yeah, so
NASCAR. I grew out of NASCAR because I hated it. I didn't really like it that much.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, NASCAR's not really not for everybody, but I know, man,
It's not for me,
you got
man.
some diehards who are,
Dude. Yeah, you got some diehards that
I
are like
mean,
really like NASCAR.
yeah, I saw that he's racing for RCR. I'll say this too: if you're not for me, I've always thought to say NASCAR is for rednecks, and
Yeah,
yeah,
NASCAR for rednecks.
I know rednecks is well,
Yeah,
and yes,
it's basically a redneck sport.
and yes, me and Tyler can speak because we used to live in the South, and we became red.
Yeah,
And I was,
we can say that. We can say that. Okay, it's not a stereotype because it's true. You've seen it in the South. It's for rednecks.
but outside of that, so we have some other streams on schedule for
Yeah.
up to this week. So outside of that, so Monday at 3 p.m., I'm going to have my, I would say, season finale of the NFL Talk podcast on NFL Talk with Robert, episode 5. After that, and then 6 o'clock on Monday as well, we have the Phillies Talk podcast, episode 17. Holy crap, we actually had 17 episodes.
And on Monday at 6 o'clock, I will have the second to last episode. Not really the second last episode. What am I talking about? Because I got the NFC Championship and Super Bowl to get though. The third. We got 3 episodes left of the
Oh crap! I might have to.
recap.
Wait, are you not doing? You're not doing this week, are you?
No, I'm doing this week.
Ah, crap! I'm gonna have to change the time of the Phillies Talk podcast. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm doing this week. Or you could just do the Philly Talk podcast yourself. Honestly, I don't care.
Shit, I mean, I could just hold that shit down with no problems.
Yeah, you can hold that shit down. We can compete. I don't care if we have a little bit of competition. Have I subbed for your channel? No, we do the same channel. So you're basically subbed already to both of us.
Well, and like you said, we're not because like I said, for those who, and like I said, we'll do more.
You don't know this. You don't know this, but I'm his co-host, and I'm.
I want to say co-host, my other half, basically. You're pretty much part.
Basically, we're partners. So we're basically under the same umbrella.
We're basically a team together.
Our channel. This is ours. So, you basically just up to my channel because it's our channel.
But yeah, I mean, look, I've been doing this game for 2 years. Tyler, I know it's been Tyler, who it's been kind of fun. He's just one of those guys that have just been my ride or die kind of people.
We're best friends, brother. We look at us as not just best friends, but we're basically brothers at this point. We're basically siblings. Where'd my face go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we're basically. Why am I small now?
I'm just
doing to me.
I'm just fucking with you.
Dude, yeah, you made me go from 4'8" to like 2 inches.
Tuesday.
We're basically brothers at this point.
But Tuesday, 1 o'clock Eastern time, we'll be back at it again with actually that's gonna be a whole new series in its own. Our chilling, and we'll do, like I said, we'll do those every so often. And he's about 6 hours away from me, if I'm not mistaken.
I used to live in the same state as him. We were best friends we are best friends. But we've been in the same state for, I guess, like 10 some years.
Also, too, I want before I get to say this, but I want to give a shout out to everybody who's tuned into It's Real Name Podcast. That was one of our most highest paid shows that we've done since being monetized.
Dude, you gave us a lot of money when we were doing it. I'm like, I know.
Shout out to YouTube for that. I mean, they almost gave us over almost $20 we would do our first 2-hour show, which is crazy to think about. And yeah, especially for wrestling fans, we'll be live again Thursday, 6 o'clock. It's normal for the It's Real podcast. You guys like NXT and Friday Night SmackDown? We got you guys covered that over here as well. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be available for the Royal Rumble, but the Royal Rumble is attached to. So I think Tyler's going to hold that down for me while I'm away.
I will be doing the Royal Rumble with Earl Cole
and a few others.
NYG, Jeffy, T85.
Yeah, and I think Mitch is going to be there as well.
And Mitch is going to be there. It's going to be a lot of fun with these guys.
And also,
great guys. Big group of
Yeah.
guys that you'll be
Also, I
out
want to give a shout to Jeffy too. You know, the short amount of time, shout out for him to hit another 1K buddy as well.
Oh,
At
I
the,
love that. He's a great content creator. He
even though
deserves it.
it's just funny, just him just. Oh, absolutely.
All I've got to say,
Um,
if he's watching, I'm sorry about what happened tonight. I'm sorry.
but then again, I think when it comes to him and Mac are probably the best. And Adam too are the best realistic Giants fans that I've seen
Dude,
or that we've met so far.
Mac, and Miz are like three of the best
Dude,
from what I've seen.
dude, Jeffy's great. You know, I
Jeff,
mean,
Jeffy's an
it's
awesome.
like not just Jeffy, like I said, Miz, Mac, and Adam Costas, who's another Giants fan. I think that's
Awesome dude.
so we know
Awesome
for
dude.
you know, it's just like they know where their team stands in terms of
And every time they speak, they're more realistic than anything. They're not going out there going, my team's better than yours."
or like these
They're
or like be
speaking
delusional about it.
they're speaking objectively, but they
Check out
speak
Mac
that.
Dud. Hang on, actually, while I get a chance, actually, might as well help him out a little bit. Shall
Yeah,
give
let's shout them all out. Shout all
give
those
me
guys out.
1 second.
Jeffy must
You
be
got
heartbroken. Give him some time. I'll give him some. I'm giving him some space. I'm not going to trash talk him.
but
I'm
I
giving
think
him some
he
space.
knows.
All I'm going to say
So
is on
he
the
knows.
stream. All I'm going to say, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to say, I'm sorry what happened to you.
Oh, actually, Mac the Giants fan is actually live right now. If you think about it.
Oh, he's probably ranting like a motherfucker.
I see. That's the thing. I don't know about. Like I said, in the short time I've known Mac, I don't think he's really that kind of guy, unless because actually I'm going to link his channel in the chat for those who do want to. God, if I could. You guys want to show our boy some support?
Yeah.
He's another guy. Let's give him a 500 if he can.
Yeah, let's give Mac the 500. We'll give Jeffy some more. And we'll give Miz some more too.
Okay, and here is Mac's channel. And all right. Now that I mention it, Tyler, I don't know if you actually saw this. Our Jeff are like neck and neck in terms of subscriber count. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. That's really, really cool. I love that little competition going on here. Love that. Between our channel and his channel. A little
Like I said,
competition.
it's just like I said. I mean, if we go play competing with people, it's just like I was like, yeah, it is what it is. Like for
I
me,
really don't care if he wins out.
I'm like that too. It's just like
Yeah, I don't care if he wins out in this little competition that we're in. I really don't care. I like to see other people succeed too in this in this space.
And here is Jeff's channel.
Go
For those,
subscribe to our boy.
absolutely show those guys some love. I mean, and shout out to Mac too. And Billy also like wrestling content too. And and also too. And Thursday, we're gonna have my boy, or actually our boy, Mr. Raphael, coming on this week for the It's Running Podcast episode 36. So you guys don't want to miss that. And like I said, with the Royal Rumble coming up, like I said, I'm not going to be available on stream. Like Tyler said, you got Mitch and many other, a few others from the Hardcore Sports Network going to hold it down. And Tyler, just make sure to let everybody know when during that stream to make sure to try to be as PG as you possibly can. Because there was a couple times where I had to appeal. There was a couple streams that we done that somehow got hit with the yellow dollars, and I had to appeal it and managed to get back. So just kind of give a little bit of a tip to try to be as PG as you possibly can.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, you know what, guys? I want you guys to be PG. I don't have to. I don't have
If
to.
one F bomb slips out or whatnot,
If one F bomb, I dropped an F bomb just now, like a little
and
bit ago.
like YouTube
But
really doesn't, because I mean, if you look, because like I said, I mean, if it's like we're this far in, like I think YouTube really wouldn't care. I think they'd kind of been more
if
lenient.
it's FFFFF, and then
Well, in like the first 8 seconds, yeah, you can get hit with that. But outside of that, I will be doing the Sixers and Magic on Monday the 30th and March 28th. If you guys want to come by, I am going to be hosting my 26th birthday stream, which I know I put off my 25th one because I had a lot of personal stuff to take care of. I was originally wanted to do for my 25th, but just my personal life got in the way. So I'm going to do it this year. Yes, I'm old. I know, yes. People say, "Oh, 25 is not old."
Dude, I'm almost halfway to 30.
And yeah, and I might do some more NBA games too if I feel like it. Well, like I said, with the USFL and XFL coming up, I will be live for that as well. We're going to be doing some coverage as well. Hopefully, my birthday is March 28th. Yes, I'm towards the end of the month, basically.
And I'm
I'm a
towards
spring
the end of the
baby.
next month. I'm actually at the end of the next month at the
It's funny
29th.
once you got to know me entire a lot more. It like yes and no. I think me and Tyler really do have some of. I mean, yeah, we do have our differences, but like I said, that's another. Like I said, that's another story for Tuesday because, like I said, we can. There's a lot more stuff we can really talk about and stuff like that because it's kind of fun, kind of opening up to. I am an Aries
And I'm a
now.
Taurus.
The thing about, and this is the funny thing too. It's like because my girlfriend's a Libra, and I've been seeing my being an Aries has always been paired up with a Libra, so.
Go Birds, bring on Brock Turdy or the Cowpies.
Hey, absolutely.
You are
But
talking.
hey, look. We have the right to because we are the NFC. Well, I want to go far to if
Dude,
we're the.
I feel like I'm on top of a mountain. That's how big of a win we have.
Oh well, then again, this was kind of obviously this was kind of and then again, this is. I mean, yeah, was a full healthy Giants team if you think about it.
It was.
Hey, shit. I mean, the only thing to me about Aries is very stubborn. That's just how most Aries are. That's
Man, I don't really pay attention to the horoscopes and other crap.
I just read into it a little bit, but that's just me. But
I don't really get into that stuff. I really don't care what you are.
and other stuff that we have planned coming up as well. May, May we'll do have like a mental health stream here and there. But part of that we're gonna also do WNBA coverage, so we'll be on the lookout for that. And also with baseball coming around the corner, be expecting a lot of Phillies play-by-plays because this is gonna be fun if you're a Phillies fan.
Dude, you're more confident to do Phillies football plays now because last year you were scared shitless to even do one.
Exactly, because I felt like I was bad. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I was like a super bad luck with Philly streams.
When is my birthday? April 29th.
So, in other words, me and Tara are a day and a year apart, basically.
Yeah, a day and a month apart. A day, a month, and a year.
That's great. That's crazy to think about, but yeah, like I said, I'll probably set up a stream, do something like. Well, then I don't know what you're doing as well, but
On my birthday?
Yeah,
I don't know we usually do something every year, but I just don't know what I'm gonna do this year.
It's like for me, so you get older, you don't want to do shit, basically.
Dude, last year, you know what I did? Sat on my ass on my couch and drank beer. Oh, I did. Or actually laid my ass in that bed.
Also, too, I know this is kind of irrelevant, but holy crap, if you're not a fan of Hardy, oh, you are missing out. You are missing out.
Dude, I listened to that album yesterday. I'm like, oh my god, he went hard with this. Because it's like half hard. It's like half metal, half country. I'm like, yo.
And also, too, though, and, like I said, Jags Nation, I disagree to an extent. I mean, you guys had a 9-8 season. You just had some holes you had to fix.
Your team is an ass. No. We are elite. We are the monocle wearing elite.
I'm going to go to the Monopoly.
Fantasy cards with $100 bills. We are better than the commoners. That's Eagles right now. We poo-poo the peasants because we're.
I can't.
Yo, I will say this. Carter the starter just had a wrestling style promo just now.
But I will say this too about the Jags, though, for our last final segment, is that, yes, I know the Jags. I mean, the fact that he lost by 7 to a Kansas City Chiefs team is, look, I get it. It's a loss, but the fact that he still hung in there, probably one of the best.
Dude, one of the best. Lost by 7.
You lost by 1. You had a team. Let's be real. Look at the last 2 years. They went. Ugh.
You could have been us. You could have been us from last year. Get blown the hell out of the first round.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
So he is a winner. He is. He definitely is a winner. So Jags Nation, don't be alarmed.
Not just Jags Nation, but just Jags. Just don't hang. Jags fans in general, just don't hang your head in shame because, yeah, I mean, look.
don't be too upset about it. You
But
know, this
this is a
team
this is a
has
good
a bright
stepping stone.
future. Yeah, this team has a bright future. You have a great quarterback under center in Trevor
Thank God he
Lawrence. You have a
actually
great
looks
coach.
like one, because me and Ty were, and it
Dude,
sucks when we
that
were about to write him
the
off.
first year in that first couple of weeks of this year, we were scared. But
And
but
it's
I have to agree
ironic.
with I have to agree with caution here. Jaguars' future look good.
It,
They look very good
because
because
for me, I just the
the
way
defense. Look at the pass rush. Look at the defense. They look pretty good.
the run, even
Um,
though the run deep. I
you
wouldn't
know,
say that, Nikki, though, but I will say the one area defensively that they need to fix, improve tremendously, is the run defense, because their run defense,
yeah,
uh,
you got to find a way to crowd that line,
and
line of
plug,
scrimmage,
yeah, you
plug
had
some holes.
like
Oh,
pass
that's
rush.
it.
You could probably add a couple pieces here and there, but I really don't think you really need to improve that much.
Yeah,
But
there's not much. They're not really a set. They're not a sad franchise like they were the last few years.
oh, not just that. I mean, if you looked at before 2017, they just were. It's like they were
Even
like
after 2017, the bottom just fell out.
yeah, but then again, it's just like yeah. Oh, good lord, man, they went through so many different quarterbacks. I mean, who remembers like Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles? I mean, their quarterback play has not been great. I mean, but
Now you see that quarterback end with Trevor Lawrence. It's over. Trevor's a god. He looks like one.
like I said, this is coming from like when
He
coach
looks
right,
like
the kid.
a god. With the hair, he looks like a god.
Or for those who remember the Titans, he is Mr. Sunshine. So I'll leave it at. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like you're
No,
not.
you did not just compare Trevor Lawrence to Mr. Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
If you're not, I swear to God, he is Mr. Sunshine because of the
Yo,
damn hair.
let me
He gives,
see it. Let me look this movie up again because I got to see this. I can't remember what Mr. Sunshine even freaking looks like. I
yeah,
forgot.
Cauldron. For me, I'm a heavy metal guy. That's always been my main genre of music, with some also classic rock thrown in, like Zeppelin, Black Sabbath. Um,
Oh, we're the Titans. Okay. Oh yeah, we're the Titans. Remember Titans. I guess
anti.
remember the Titans. Remember the Titans. No, we are the Titans.
I would go far as Prince Charming, Butterfly, but I mean, you could definitely get given that nickname. I think the
Well,
one team I do think that's a
Mr.
sad
What? Rob, Mr. What?
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Yeah. Hold on. Hold on, dude. Cut his hair a few inches. That's Trevor Lawrence. All day.
Like,
All freaking day.
but I will say the one team I do think is going to be a sad franchise for years to come is definitely
Oh
the.
yeah, like classic. Oh yeah, like the classic rock old school metals. Those
Oh
two
yeah,
are
yeah,
rare.
like
I wouldn't say old school metal, not 80s
well
metal.
for me
I'm
it
talking
is.
about
It
like
was.
current metal, like Avenged Sevenfold and stuff like
I
that.
actually like old metal too, like old thrash metal from early Metallica, Slayer, Anthrax. Well, Anthrax not so
I
much.
would say along the lines of Metallica, kind of, but like
I
kind
was
of
like
like
Pantera from the '90s.
I'm
You'd be
talking about
surprised.
like maybe like Metallica from like 2000 and up, like 80s and
See, I
90s.
won't go back. So
Also I'm going with like bands like Avenged Sevenfold and
Never.
those bands like that, like those rock,
It's
those metal.
funny
Music.
enough. The story how I got into Avenged Sevenfold was from one of their songs from Black Ops 2, from the zombie map from Shepherd of Fire.
Oh
That's kind
yeah,
of how I
you know the Easter egg where the whole thing cast plays with the band.
exactly yeah. But
But Slayer is also known. Nobody doesn't like Slayer.
that see, I can agree with
I never really listened to Slayer.
Slayer. Well, the later years of Slayer hasn't really. It's been okay. I mean, they have some really popular songs from the early '80s, but I would
Oh
do agree with.
dear God, Butterfly! I just saw your comment. I can't unsee it now. Thanks, Butterfly.
First of all, it's Mr. Sunshine and Prince Charming. You can't really unsee that.
And
But Nikki, though, I do agree.
he's definitely Prince Charming, but from Shrek.
Well, I would say more Avenged Sevenfold is more like hard rock. The way how if you looked at their early days,
It's more of like
their early days were they're right there on the more heavy of the heavy metal side
yeah
before they
yeah
switched like to
like more
alternate
Now, yeah, they went to like alternative rock.
Actually, they have some pretty good album. I mean, probably the best album they put out there was for me was City of Evil. Hail to the King was a great album. Yes,
that song was a friggin' beast of a
I'm sorry.
song.
Like I said, I mean, I listened to a lot of Kill Switch, Avenged Sevenfold. I listened to a couple of deathcore bands. Yes, I get to the heavier side of stuff, but
and you like the yelling and screaming and shit.
Like Slaughter to Prevent. See, for me, I don't like Smashing Pumpkins. I really never got into Smashing Pumpkins.
They're more of like alternative pop rock.
I can't. The only pop I can get into is probably like a Good Charlotte. I think people tend to forget Good Charlotte. Electric Wizard, never heard of it either. I remember Good Charlotte in the early 2000s. I'm trying to.
They were dominating the world.
God, who remembers them? I think they were forgotten. I mean, I like Blink 182.
They dominated early 2000s too.
And the fact that you have all three members back is fucking crazy. Just
makes me feel only have like a few hits.
I mean,
but
trying to think who else who
and fun fact, the lead singer of that one band you just mentioned owns a wrestling company now.
And yeah, we did talk about him in the
and he sucks. He's a shit.
But yeah, we'll get that.
But what about Madonna? She is playing.
God, why is Madonna? I don't think Madonna.
Dude, she is trying so hard to release new music and stay relevant.
I think the only person I think has
hasn't been relevant since like the early 90s.
Like late 80s, early 90s. I think the only
I'm with the progressive rock.
Prog rock's pretty good too. I do like the sounds of that. System of a Down, at times I like them. It's just like over time, it's just like it's kind of hard to.
For me, I kind of find them overrated.
I mean, if you looked at the early date, I mean, if you looked at listen to.
Dude, I'm not sleeping on her music. Her music is fine. But the problem is she's trying to stay relevant. The problem is she hasn't been relevant. Nobody in this current generation even likes her anymore.
I mean, the only one I feel like it has actually done a pretty good. I would say tried not to try hard to stay relevant was. I think Tyler could disagree with me. It's probably for me. It's Dolly Parton. If you really think about it, if you're a country music.
Here's the thing: she doesn't have to try too hard. Everybody likes Dolly, bro.
I mean, I think everybody knows who Dolly truly is. I mean,
everybody knows who Dolly is, and
dude, Chelsea Grin. Don't get me started on them. I love Chelsea and Grin. Black Dahlia Murder. I'm
not that heavy into that stuff. I know.
Yeah, it's
I'm not really that heavy into stuff, but yeah. Dude, she has not been. Dude, she had like a crappy hit in like 2018 that was so bad.
Dolly Parton. People understand.
Exactly. Everybody loves Dolly. Everybody.
And also, too, you'd be surprised how some good country music stars are out there. Luke Combs. I mean, great.
Party. Very good.
I will. Oh God, who else?
Yeah, her resume is good. But she has not been relevant.
And that's a good point too. This is why I always nitpick with
I'll give her props. She does write her own stuff. I do.
Because that's always been my biggest nitpick with musicians nowadays. They're just like some of them are just lazy as hell.
And then some of them they just lie and then they find out they have a ghostwriter. Like enough.
Well, unless you're
Luke Combs writes his own shit.
Yeah, that's
Dolly Parton is making a new movie coming out next month called. No, that's not Dolly Parton.
That's what the hell's her name?
That's Sally Field.
Gosh, she's still relevant? Holy crap!
Yeah, Sally Field. The whatever her name is. It's just 4 old ladies swooning over Brady, and guess who the executive producer of that movie is? Tom freaking Brady. Shows you how self-centered the guy is.
I will say that
very few artists write their own shit, but I respect more that. I mean, I do too. I respect that too. I respect it too. That's why people like Luke Combs.
But I do agree with Nikki at times. Is certain genres.
Yeah, she did say that, but that was more of like she never won an award before, and she.
Going to Nikki's comment, and I agree to an extent.
I saw that award speech though. I thought that was honestly like the most wholesome moment ever in
Oh yeah.
Hollywood was when she
But
won her first award.
it's and go like I said, go back to Nikki's comment about music being dead. It depends on what genre who you're asking. Depending on the that's who it is. Gloria Estefan. I couldn't think of her goddamn name.
Oh wait, she's in that movie too?
Apparently so. That's there's some just
Dude,
actors you tend to forget that are just still.
I didn't even know she even. I didn't never even knew she even acted.
Neither did I. I mean,
I knew she did music from the '80s, but I
and
didn't
for
know
those who
she
kind of
acted.
know about me, I'm also a big hip hop guy, mostly for Eminem because holy crap, you take. Oh, if you're not listening to Kill Shot, what the hell are you missing? Because holy crap!
He absolutely murdered MGK, and
Oh, not
he made
just
him run
not.
to a different, and he made him run to a different genre of
I
music.
mean, dude, Kamikaze. Ooh. I
And I
mean,
will,
look.
and I will, and I will say this: I hated MGK in his rock music at the start, but it's kind of growing on me.
Even though his,
Hate to say it.
I will say his Warped Tour.
It's bad though. I mean, some of it's bad. Most of it's bad, but some of the songs are okay-ish.
It's funny because it's like not just dude Kamikaze. I thought it was probably
They said,
dude.
Eminem lost that one. No, he didn't. He won. He bodied
First of all,
MGK.
if you first of all, I will say this too. Whoever said that, go watch 8 Mile. You know, you
Dude,
can.
he even bodied Falcon from Marvel.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Oh, I didn't pick up. I didn't know that was him.
It was him. It was his first movie role. Was 8 Mile.
I forgot about.
He
Let's be
bodied
honest,
him. He bodied him in that movie.
dude. Metallica in the '80s. Well, like I said, I was born in the late '90s, but I still enjoy like like classic, hard rock, heavy metal, that kind of thing. I remember, with some like thrash and stuff like I said, we'll talk more of that.
Yeah, on a personal stream, but we got to get out of here.
It's after 1:30. I gotta make my lunch. I gotta. Well, thank God at least I can sleep in. At least I got work at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So shit, it's gonna be fun. But with that being said, though, like I said, it's appreciated kind of just talking for a little bit because, like I said, when we end these streams, it's like there's hard. There's kind of any filler. Thank God Tyler actually has a better looking setup than he does on his goddamn phone, and it sounds a lot better than his in terms of audio wise.
Oh, it does? It sounds better?
Yeah, at least you're not skipping in terms of kind of like sound
Okay,
like glitching out.
that's good. Oh,
But
yeah, it's not good to know. Yeah, you're right.
I actually 2000s metal people tend to forget how good the metal. Dude, I love
Metal music's okay, but dude, that back to that Hardy album before we get out of here, it threw me off.
I'm thinking when I listened to it, it's like,
There was
wow.
one song. There was one song on the album, right? It starts off country, and then it turns into rock midway through. I'm like, oh shit.
Hey,
Hubby is
good
bringing
shit,
me more.
Nikki. Well, it depends on what brand you.
Hubby is bringing me more beer. Gonna get hammered and listen to some music tonight. Gonna
Hey,
see all night. Yo,
uh,
have fun. Party up with your hubby, man.
like I
Nikki.
said,
Have fun.
we just appreciate everybody. Like,
What
wait,
album? I think it's called The
uh,
Mockingbird and the Crow.
the Mockingbird and the Crow,
Yeah. The
and
Mockingbird is the
and
country.
surprisingly too, for those who don't know, the Mockingbird and the Crow, his new album actually reached #1 on the iTunes charts. So that should tell you just how really well that
Yeah,
really
he's
turned.
already charted like he has like 5 hits from that. From 5 country hits
Like
from that album.
that's
But
like,
dude, I wonder if any of his like rock songs charted. I hope they did.
or
Dude,
I
but but here's
oh Metallica. Well,
yeah,
it's
good
funny.
start. Also again, please listen to that Hardy album because that shit was fire.
I'll say this too, though. I've actually read. I was watching. I don't know what I was watching. People said that the Metallica Black Album was pretty much. Oh, I think it was like a couple of these music YouTubers basically saying, that the Black Album was kind of like their sell out, when they sold out or something like that to go alternative. I think the only reason I think most people remember Metallica Master of Puppets because from Stranger Things. Even though I had never seen it, so I'll admit that on firsthand.
Here's the thing. It garnered more attention. Everybody knew what most people knew what Master of Puppets was.
Oh,
the
it really is. The
majority of
Black Album
but the
is.
younger but the younger
Oh
generation
yeah,
finally knew what it was now, and they liked it and got into it.
and I agree, Nikki. I really do. I mean, I mean, people tend to forget. I mean, Death Magnetic was a good album by Metallica. Because, like I said, we can talk music on Tuesday because
Yeah, we're gonna do the music thing, but please listen to
we do.
Mockingbird and the Crow. That crap is fire.
But
I'm probably gonna listen to it through my
it
headphones
really
back home.
is. But like I said, to get out of here though, like I said, and basically what Butterfly said, I mean, we kind of missed our comment. Like here at the Sports Talk Podcast, we're just entire family, not just if you're. I mean, we have some like loyal subscribers since day one. But like I said, the fact we have some like other people kind of just somehow finding us throughout the algorithm, like we greatly appreciate that, really do. But like I said, we'll do stuff as we can. Try to do a lot around our scheduling. For me, working full time is kind of a bit of pain in the rear end sometimes, but bad at it. Yeah, well, like I said, we'll talk more of that Tuesday because man, we can talk all music, not just music, just life in general and that stuff like that. It's gonna be fun. But
yeah, we're gonna talk about, how about this on the next live stream? We should talk about our favorite genre of music.
oh yeah, I had that our next chill stream set up for 1 o'clock on
We'll
Tuesday.
do favorite genres because we do have some differences and we do have some similarities.
Yeah, and this is the best part of. Yeah, we have our the stream next chill stream on Tuesday because I think that's the next day that I'm off because because since technically today is Sunday, even though Mr. Tired, I kind of pick on he has Mr. Scramble for brains. He doesn't know which day is which sometimes, which we do tend to forget. We do.
My days bleed into each other half the time.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, like I said, we appreciate that. Shit, we not just genre of music and just hell, we can talk video games for crying out loud.
Honestly, I want to keep that separate. I want to do just music this week. Probably do video games the week after.
Shit, I'm down. It's gonna be fun. Like I said, we got a lot of some fun stories, fun genres of music. Kind of just show you, just even we do have some differences in our friendship, which we to be expected.
Our friendship doesn't have any differences. So, any NFL games tomorrow? Probably. I don't know who's doing them.
Unfortunately, I'm working up tomorrow. Jedi Survivor. 1 o'clock Eastern time.
I can't wait for that game to come out. I can't wait.
I don't know. I really can never get into the new Star Wars game.
Like honestly, Jedi Fallen
Survivor.
Not Jedi Fallen something. I forgot what it's called.
Fallen Order.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order. That was kind of like it's kind of like a Star Wars game mixed in with like Tomb Raider. It's really fun. EA got this one right.
Hey, Rafi!
EA got this one right finally. So Fallen Order was a good game, but yeah. Jedi Survivor is probably going to be good too. Yo, you came in late, but hey, man, what's up, brother?
We can't wait to see you on Thursday, Rafi.
Can't wait to see you on Thursday. EA has been done one goddamn
I think she meant good.
Done one goddamn thing.
Well, I will say this too, though. Once I learn how to do OBS and stuff like that, when I get a bigger studio, I'm going to try to stream because I do have a PS2 hooked up to my TV. So I do have the OG Battlefront 2. I think for those who are huge PS2 people, God, I'm going to have a fun blast with that. Talk about having a blast for the past. And
it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch it too because I watched my brother play and it was like a movie. So
it really is. I mean,
what was that album? The Cockroach and the Bullet.
Wait.
No. It's called The Mockingbird.
Where did the cockroach come from?
Where did the bullet come from?
That's what I'm wondering. But it's gonna be fun though.
And the bullet. It's gonna be fun. It's called The Mockingbird and the Crow. It's from the country singer Hardy. And now he's a country.
Also, for wrestling fans who remember Hardy, I would say is in KV Witness Protection Program.
He's in Witness Protection Program.
It's surprisingly
Witness Protection Program for hitting Solo Sikoa. That's the guy who has this album out. But I feel like you beat. Hold on, I feel like you beating me to the punch when I asked you if you listened to the album, and you said yeah. I feel like the wrestling theme song was the reason why you listened to the album.
not just that too. It's just like I want to listen to other. He was like the first guy that came up on my Spotify playlist. I was like, yeah, give it a shot. Give it a shot. So, and ever since then, I've kind of been hooked onto that. But I will admit to this: I have never played Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask in terms of video games from Legend of Zelda, other than Wind Waker or Breath of the Wild, which I still have not beaten.
Both those games angered me, so I got halfway through
You know,
both of them.
like the Wind Waker angered you with.
No, not Wind Waker. I'm talking about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Never played them, so I haven't really gotten.
Ah, bro, turn the stream off.
Pause put bread in the butter, so pause. That's a huge pause on mine.
Ah, bro, turn the stream off. What do you mean?
I
Oh, wow.
I've
Dude,
never
you've never played Ocarina though.
I've never played Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask. Like I said,
Dude,
I'm going to admit that the only games
I'm with Anton though. I'm
because the
kind
only
of a
games I ever
student.
owned for GameCube was Simpsons Hit and Run,
Okay,
Mario Kart
save
Double
yourself with
Dash.
that. Save yourself again. But
I
we'll
do
get to
like the
that.
Wind Waker though. I think Wind Waker still holds up to this very day, which I'll play a couple occasionally. But I don't have the game. I mean, when I used to have my GameCube back then, I used to play a little bit. The only, like I said, I'm not a huge Zelda type of fan. That's just me.
Me, I played maybe a few.
So,
Wow.
Golden.
Wow. You're not American if you never played that. Never played GoldenEye? What's wrong with this guy?
Well,
Dang.
actually, when did GoldenEye did come out? Actually, I want to look at that up really quick.
What, the game? 1997?
Yeah, I was born. Yeah, I was still young when that game came out. GoldenEye 007.
Bro, you were just born when that game came out.
Yeah, it came out. Yeah, like I said, in 1997. But the movie came out in 19. So this.
Hey, play Ocarina of Time live. Use an emulator.
Like I said, I had to learn how to use OBS, but I use it. But yeah, I was because it came out on August 25th, 1997. So I was still very young when that game came out.
Dude, I was born in 98 and I played that game. Ocarina is like the pinnacle of where gaming went. RetroArch is free. Yeah, RetroArch, you can even use that on you can use that on tablets and phones.
I mean, like I said, there's certain games that I have not really been like. I've been introduced to many different games, like I said, GoldenEye stuff like that. I did play the
dude, you're getting called out for talking about COD games, and you're never playing GoldenEye.
Actually,
called out.
Shit. Call me out if you want. Yeah, and you're right. I was born in the late 90s. There's a lot of things that I didn't start getting into video games till about early 2000s when the very first system I ever owned was I will admit the very first system
is actually a really good game. I'll give you that, Nikki. I'll give you that. But
Perfect Dark. I haven't heard that name. I haven't heard that name in years. I remember was that was that an Xbox exclusive at one point?
That was the remake. That was the remake. That sucked.
Remake. What was remake. What Perfect Dark was a crap?
There was a remake of Perfect Dark for the Xbox. It sucked.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
The original was for the N64.
Oh yeah, trust me. I remember playing the Perfect Dark on.
Yeah, they're making a sequel. Yeah, I'm
the other games I played for the N64 was Mario Kart 64. There was a couple other ones I can't think of the top of my head. It's already It's just.
I'm gonna tell you the games I played. Ready? I played South Park. Yes, that's South Park where you throw snowballs at the chickens. Yes.
I remember that. I remember that.
I played WrestleMania 2000.
Ooh.
I played No Mercy.
No Mercy was pretty good.
I played NFL Blitz.
God, I got to get that for my PS2 because it's been a while since I played that where you can drop kick people and just put them in wrestling holds. It's like beat them with your own helmet. That stuff was.
That game is fun. So
South Park 64, yeah.
That game's fun. And funny. But the show was also fun and funny. Mario 64, I played that too.
Yeah.
Great game. Great game.
Who remembers Super Mario No,
The
Galaxy wasn't for
OG, the OG. I played the OG
trying to think.
Mario
Was it
Kart. Not the
Mario
OG Mario Kart, but 64. I played
Mario
64.
Kart 64? Yeah. I will say this too. When I first played the 64 for the first time, was the controller was a little bit funky, but I managed to learn how to got used to it very quickly.
Yeah,
But
it's a funky design, but we'll get into it after,
oh yeah, and we can tell you just like different game like consoles that we used to grow up with. But with that being said, because like I said, I got to take some care of some stuff. It is almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
Dude, they keep calling you out.
Okay,
Oh my God.
but I
Dude,
will say,
he will
well,
play. He's going to play it in the future. Hold your horses, guys.
because like I
But
said, I had to learn how to start. I got to learn how to set up like I said when I do like OBS and stuff. Because I love using emulators, that's for sure. Diddy Kong Racing, very underrated racing game for me.
but yeah, it is very underrated. I agree. I agree.
But like I said, we'll talk more.
With that said, oh my gosh, she turned. Hold on. How old is she?
Probably.
Yo, she's probably older than us, and she's talking like she's like 15 from like 2020. For real, no cap. On God, on God,
But with that being said, though,
on God, yo. Okay, I feel
Twisted
like I'm
Metal. When you talk about being a PlayStation player,
Twisted Metal. Whew.
for me the best Twisted Metal that I've ever played for me was Twisted Metal Black because I do like the story, kind of bit of a story element to
I
that.
think that's the worst one.
Actually, I
Wasn't
think
that the worst one? And you stopped making those games because Black sucked.
no, that was something different.
Oh, oh.
Twisted Metal 2 was pretty good too. But
we'll get into
we'll
that
get
once
into
we're.
not this week, but the following week we'll do another one for the video game edition. But with that being said, though, we're gonna wrap it up here. Like I said, we appreciate the chat with everybody. God, but with that being said,
Go
we're gonna
Birds!
yes, sir, and we are out.
Peace.